The sun sets in the west, and the campus of Huayang University is filled with a familiar hustle and bustle. Mingxuan carries his backpack, wandering aimlessly on the tree-lined path. He is a sophomore ordinary student, with average grades, usually likes to play games and chat with roommates. His life is like a cup of plain water, without any waves. This afternoon's class ended early. He originally wanted to go back to the dormitory to sleep in, but was pulled out by his roommate Yilei to take a walk and get some fresh air. Ah, Mingxuan, you say how come our university life is so boring? Every day is just attending classes, eating, sleeping, no excitement. Yilei's voice came from behind. That guy is always full of energy, like a battery that never stops. Mingxuan smiled, without turning back. Excitement? Be careful of playing with fire and burning yourself. It's better to be stable, graduate and find a job, marry a wife, have children, and make do with it. The two of them walked and chatted, passing by that old and dilapidated back mountain path. This place is rarely visited, overgrown with weeds. Occasionally a few wild cats dart by. Mingxuan kicked away a stone at his feet, inadvertently glimpsed a dim golden light flashing in the grass. He squatted down, parted the grass, and fished out an ancient jade plaque. The jade plaque is about the size of a palm, with incomprehensible runes engraved on the surface. It feels cool to the touch, like something dug out from an ancient tomb. What is this? An antique? Mingxuan muttered to himself, holding the jade plaque up to his eyes. Yilei leaned over, frowned and said, "It looks like a broken jade pendant, probably someone's lost memento. Sell it, exchange for a barbecue." Mingxuan felt a stir in his heart, thinking this thing is not simple. He lightly touched the rune in the center of the jade plaque with his finger. Instantly, a blinding blue light burst from the jade plaque. The light surged into his palm like a tide, rushing straight through his whole body. Mingxuan only felt a buzz in his mind, like being struck by an electric current, and countless ancient texts and patterns floated in his vision. Identity verification in progress. Host Mingxuan, spiritual root qualified. Sect token activated, cultivation system bound successfully. A mechanical yet ancient-sounding voice rang in his mind. Mingxuan widened his eyes, as if something awakened inside his body. A warm current surged from his dantian, wandering through his meridians, his muscles and bones trembling slightly. He felt power surging, and there was a faint fresh spiritual energy in the air, like the forest after rain. His originally tired body instantly became light, his vision and hearing became sharp, and he could clearly see the veins of the surrounding leaves. What the hell is this? Mingxuan panted, his heart in turmoil. From childhood to now, he had never encountered such mysterious things. At most he had read about cultivation in novels. But now, this feeling is too real. He stepped from an ordinary person into another world in an instant, with spiritual power emerging, as if a hidden door was pushed open, revealing endless possibilities. Excited mixed with confusion, he gripped the jade plaque tightly, thinking, could it be that God saw my life too hard and gave me a golden finger? Yilei was startled, stepped back 2 steps. Bro, what's wrong with you? Your face is pale. Is there radiation in the jade plaque? Mingxuan came to his senses, forced a smile and shook his head. Nothing, maybe an allergy. Let's go, back to the dormitory. He stuffed the jade plaque into his pocket, and the system in his mind was still beeping. Basic spiritual power injected. Host can activate simple rune arrays to counter low-level threats. Hidden cultivators in the city? Monster invasions? These words exploded in his mind like bombs. He vaguely remembered the occasional wild animal attacks reported in the news. Could it not be a coincidence? Night fell, and the campus lights were bright. Mingxuan lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. The jade plaque was placed by his pillow, slightly warm. He tried to silently recite the activation, and a simple interface appeared in his mind. Spiritual power value 10/100, skill, basic rune trap, can set up a small array to trap spiritual creatures. This thing is simply a cheat. The confusion in his heart gradually turned into excitement, protecting classmates, becoming stronger. These thoughts spread like wildfire. Who says ordinary people have to be mediocre for a lifetime? Suddenly, screams came from outside the dormitory building. Mingxuan suddenly sat up, and outside the window, there was chaos. Under the moonlight, a group of black shadows were scurrying on the edge of the playground, like twisted wild dogs, with green eyes flashing, and claws scraping the ground making a harsh friction sound. A fishy smell permeated the air, mixed with blood. Students scattered and fled. Someone shouted, "Monsters! What are those things?" Mingxuan's heart tightened. He grabbed the jade plaque and rushed out of the dormitory. The campus lights swayed. In the distance, a street light was knocked crooked by something, scattering broken glass. Those black shadows are monsters. Low-level ones, like beasts that drilled out from the interdimensional rifts, specifically hunting ordinary people. The news never reported these, but now, he knew the truth, the hidden crisis in the city, right on this seemingly safe campus land. "You should die, why is it here?" Ming-Chi murmured, and the system in the brain prompted, "Detective low-level demon invasion, and activate the rune aura to kill." He took a deep breath and rushed towards the jade tablet. With a finger, a faint blue rune appeared on the ground, like a hidden net, quietly placed on the little one without any noise. The magic method is simple, but it is extremely powerful. It can trap monsters and extract its essence. A demon crow swept towards a girl who fell into office. That was Xiao Xian, the famous school beauty in the campus, always smiling. At this moment, she screamed and stepped back. Her skirt was blown up by the wind, her face turned pale. "Help! It's not a dog." Ming-Chi didn't say anything, but rushed forward. The demon turned his head and stared at him, with his fangs exposed, and he let out a low roar. The fishy wind in the air was blowing, and the bright body felt his heartbeat like a drum, but the inner strength made his steps stable. He shouted, "Xiao Xian, run quickly. Come to me." Xiao Xian was stunned for a moment and recognized him. "Ming? Are you crazy? Don't worry about me." The demon beast came, its claws were like a knife. The body on the side of the Mingtang is flashing, the jade plaque is flashing, and the rune art is activated. The ground was bright, like an invisible rope cradle on the demon. The beast slammed and let out a silence of howl, and the power was drawn into a stream of light that stormed into the jade plaque. When the body feels hot, the power value jumps to 15 out of 100. After the demon beast twitched for a while, it turned into black smoke and dissipated, leaving only a crystal demon pill, which fell to the ground. "It's done!" Ming-Chi gasped and picked up the demon pill, and an unprecedented sense of accomplishment surged in his heart. It feels so good to have been a weak book nerd to now easily crushing monsters. More importantly, he saved people and protected his desire to burn like a flame. Xiao Xian ran over and stared at her eyes. How did you do it? What is that method?" Ming-Chi smiled embarrassedly. "You are so good at sports, you step on a trap. Don't be afraid, these things will not come again." He was thinking in his heart, "This is just the beginning, I have to become stronger and hold on to this campus." At this moment, Lei ran over panting, holding a stick that was rolling from the road in his hand. "Ming! What are you just now? Superman possession? I saw it with my eyes, you sucked that monster." "It's so, Mom." Ming-Chi patted his shoulder and smiled and said, "Down, low-key. Lazy, don't you say you want to excite it? Now the opportunity is coming. There is something weird in this campus, and those monsters are not played by chance. Do you know which road in the back mountain is the most confusing?" Lei's eyes lit up and his blood poured on him. "Of course. The little mountain behind the mountain leads to the old library, where the land is complicated and suitable for ambushing. Brothers, I'm the one. Let's work together to fuck these beasts." Xiao Xian wiped her sweat and pointed, I can help you too. You saved me just now, and I can't put it in without seeing it. Where did those things come from?" Ming Wei looked at them and felt warm in her heart. From being confused and lonely to having a partner now, this turnaround made him excited. He held the jade plaque and looked at the crack in the night. "It's a long time, but tonight, we have to keep here. Let's go, Lazy, lead the way." The sound of the campus sounded, and there was a black shadow shaking away. Mingyi felt that the power of spirit flowed in the body, and the road to cultivation of immortality was opened. The night is as bright as ink, and the small mountain behind Huayang University is winding and twisting. On both sides are dense shrubs, and occasionally there are silences that break through the silence. Ming and the other two walked forward with their heads down. The fallen leaves under their feet made a slight rustling sound, and the air still had the fishy smell left by the demon beast, making people's backs sway. Ilay was exploring the way forward, and the beam of the flashlight swayed, illuminating the twisted shadows on the way out, like ghostly claws. Xiao Xian followed Ming Xiao, breathing a little rapid. She was still screaming in her ears. Now she was tightly decking and holding her phone tightly, as if holding a life-saving straw. Lazy, is this really confusing? Who are you going to join the Romans network when all those monsters catch up? Ming Qi asked in a low voice, his heart up and down. The jade token was slightly burning in his pocket, as if reminding him not to panic. He has been an otaku since childhood, so how could he have experienced this kind of scene? But the new spirit in his body made his steps much more stable than usual, as if he was stepping on the cloud every step. Ilay grinned back and showed his white teeth. Don't worry, brother, I'm familiar with the road. This road leads to the backyard of the old library, and security guards are usually patrolling. If those beasts come, they will be just for us to train. He slapped the iron stick, and his blood was like a gangster, which made Ming's heart warm. Since then, Ilay was always the guy who brought him to play games. Now he has taken the initiative to stand up. This sentiment makes him feel that he is no longer a lonely war. Xiao Xian interjected in a short voice, don't be so sad. That's just that. I've said from my little hearing that it's like a demon that has been diamond from the rift. There are immortal cultivators hidden in the city, and they are dedicated to dealing with these. But I thought that's the story, but I didn't expect it to be true. Her voice was trembling, and under the moonlight, her face turned white as paper, her long hair was blown by the wind, emitting a faint scent of hairdressing, mixed with the moisture of the night dew. Ming Wei was shocked, stopped and took out the jade sign from her pocket. The blue light flashed in his palm. He took a deep breath and silently activated it. The system interface in the brain has appeared again, and this time it is clearer. The clan token is advanced to unlock. The host's spiritual power reaches the mark and opens the basic immortal cultivation system. Ancient runes storm into the brain like flowing water. Mingcheng felt pain in his head, which was full of excitement. Rune patterns unfold one by one, basic spiritual gathering, enchanting traps, spiritual shields. These knowledge are rooted like seeds. He instantly understood how to engrave simple air on the ground to guide the spirit to form an invisible stubborn shell. It's done! Ming Qi exclaimed, his eyes lit up. The spirit inside his body flowed like a stream. He tried to raise his hand, and a small blue light shot out from his fingertips, drawing a small circle on the ground. The spirit in the air rushes, scattering the fragrance of the soil, and the air is illuminated with illumination, like a miniature lamp. This is a snail trap that can attract low-level monsters to the base and then draw their essence. Lazy, come and try it. Ilay widened his eyes and looked closer. I'll go. Are you a magician? Teach me, brother, too. He squatted down, imitating Ming's hand with a clumsy hand, but only planned to make a crooked rune, and the spirit scattered and nothing happened. The two laughed into a group, and Xiao Xian couldn't help but pursed her lips. You are like two elementary school students playing with mud. Ming, is this jade plaque an ancient artifact? It is similar to that of the ancient sect, and it can verify the blood of cultivating immortals. At the beginning of the bright spot, a warm current surged in my heart. Since then, he has always come alone, no one has shared the secrets. Now, with Xianlei's passion and Xiao Xian's gentleness, it feels like he has found Hong Kong. He sent the jade to Xiao Xian. You try to touch the central rune to see if there's any reaction? Xiao Xian touched her fingers lightly, and the jade plaque was slightly slight, and a golden light flashed across it. System prompt, assisted verification successfully, some runes are unblocked. Obtained information, This token originates from the Xiantian sect and can activate the hidden channel. Mingqi said with surprise, "That's great. I can set up a more stable trap now. Lazy, help me find an open space, let's test it first." They came to a secret lawn surrounded by high pine trees. The wind blew through the branches and rustled, and the lights in the campus far away covered the night sky like stars. The bright throne sat down with his legs, and the spirit was injected into the jade plaque, and the blue light spread on the ground, forming a circle of 2 meters straight. The air became clear and the spirit condensed like a fog. He felt the fogs inside his body, and his originally vague perception became sensitive. He could hear the crawling sound of the zombies 100 meters away, and even smell the roasted smell from the dormitory far away. After the test, this method can trap 3 low-level monsters. Mingqi stood up, stretched out his waist, and his muscles were filled with strength. Eli patted him on the shoulder. "Awesome. We will use this thing to wait for the rabbit tonight. The screams in the campus are getting more and more frequent. I guess the second wave of monsters is coming." The voice fell, and a deep roar was coming from afar. The cracks around the campus were illuminated, and dark shadows emerged in groups. This time, it was not 1 or 2, but 5 or 6 monsters with a body shaped like a wolf, hair like a steel, eyes were green, and claws were stomping on the ground to swell up the soil. They headed straight to the back mountain, with a fishy wind swaying, like evil spirits climbing out of the ground. The students' surprise sounds rose again, mixing with the disturbance of their steps and the sound of their mobile phones. "Come on. Lazy, you take Xiaoxian back, I will take the initiative to attack." Mingqi's heart beat faster, and he no longer had his first panic. The spirit made him full of confidence. He rushed toward Xiaozi as he quickly set 2 traps on the way. The blue light is hidden, like an ambushing hunter. The demons came and the first one went straight to the Ming dynasty, with their fangs flashing into the cold light. The body on the side of the car is avoiding, and the footsteps are as light as the wind. The spirit shield automatically opens, holding the pressure from the claws. The smell of blood in the air was heavy, and he shouted, "Go into the air." The demon beast stepped into the trap with 1 foot, and the blue light burst out, and the runes were like chains. It roared and roared, its sound was like thunder, and its power was drawn, turning into a stream of light and storing into the jade tablet. The body feels hot, and the power value jumps wildly. The second and third heads followed one after another, and the Ming dynasty wandered around, and the flexible trap was activated. Sweat slipped down the magnitude, mixed with the fishy smell of the soil, but he felt abnormal in his heart. From passive defense to active killing, this is his growth. 1 demon beast was swept into the air, hitting the tree and scattering, and the wood chips flew. The other was trapped by the magic method, and it let out a silence of howl, and the demon pill fell out, the crystal clear, and the spirit was scattered. Eli slapped a stick beside him and hit a single person. "Fuck. These beasts are so thick in skin." Xiao Xian hid behind the tree, couldn't help but look at it, her eyes filled with shock. Within 5 minutes, the entire demon clan was completely defeated. The spirit stones that were rising and falling from the Ming dynasty, those treasures condensed by the demon pill essence, held in their hands as warm as jade. He swallowed a piece, and his power rushed into his dantian like a flood, spreading through his veins, and his bones were lightly irritated. System prompt: the spirit stone has been absorbed successfully, and the realm has been broken through to the early stage of training. The physical strength is increased by 200%, and the perceptual range is expanded to 500 meters. A burst of power burst into full force, and I felt like I was reborn. The originally thin body was instantly real, with clear vision so clearly that the leaves could be seen clearly, and his hearing captured the winds and whispers from all over the campus. The strength was like a tide, filling every inch of muscle. He couldn't help laughing. "It's great. This is the feeling of cultivating immortals." From mortals to training, this step of rising up made his heart full of desire for conquest. The isolated fear of smoke disappeared, and replaced it with endless possibilities. At this moment, Xiao Xian walked out from behind the tree. Her face was tied and her eyes were staring at Ming Luo as if she was looking at a monster. You have changed." Just like that, she was just like a guest in a martial arts film. Is this jade plaque from Shintian sect? I am a side branch of the Immortal Cultivation family, and I heard that the token runes need to be verified by blood, which can open the hidden channel and fight against large-scale invasions. Please let me take a look and I will help you to unpack some runes. Ming-Chi was stunned for a moment, passing the jade tablet. Xiao Xian slapped her fingers and murmured the ancient spells, and the golden light flashed again. System update, runer verification progress of 20%, unblocking the spirit upgraded version. She explained, this rune is the guarding lock, which can expand the scope of the patriotic method and is suitable for the campus layout. I am confident that you will save me. I will join you. I can't sleep if I cannot solve this crisis. Ilay wiped his sweat and laughed, team construction. Minghua, you are the boss. I am responsible for information and hand-to-hand combat. Xiao Xian manages logistics and information. Let's turn the campus into a fortress, kill these monsters, and upgrade and strengthen. Ming Wei looked at them and felt warm in her heart. From a person's exploration to a reliable partner now, this growth made his eyes slightly warm. He pointed, okay. I'll put a few more traps in the back mountain tonight, and it will expand to the scene tomorrow. The rate of demon invasion is increasing, and we must take the initiative to attack and defend everyone. The three of them walked forward shoulder to shoulder, the night wind blew, scent of the stone. Far away, the red light hidden balls in the cracks indicate a bigger storm. But Ming Cheng held the jade plaque and took a firm step, the road to cultivation of immortality. From the beginning of the school park, he was no longer alone. It was just bright, and there was a thin layer of smoke on the playground of Huayang University, and the air was filled with the fresh smell of dew and grass. Ming and the other two were busy until midnight last night, and now their eyes were covered with blood, but no one was complaining about being tired. They turned back from the back mountain and walked down the wall along the campus. Qing Lei was carrying several iron tubes from the old book in front, and Xiao Xian was holding an ancient book that had been borrowed from her, with yellow rune paintings hanging in it. Ming Yi was walking in the middle, playing with the jade token in his hand, and his spirit was circulating in his body like a stream of fluid, making him feel that every step was real. Since last night's breakthrough, he was no longer the fearful otaku, and he seemed to have carried some more on his shoulders, heavy, and sober. Lazy, there are so many people on this exercise, we have to be low coordinated. Don't let the security guards get rid of bad things. Ming-Chi reminded the students who were jogging far away. Those people were still in the bubble that thought they were safe, but they knew that the demons at night had already traveled around the campus, like hidden ghosts. Ilay smiled and wiped the sweat from the bottom of his head. Don't worry, I stepped on the spot last night. The lawn on the west side of the playground is usually a garbage dump, no one cares about it. Xiao Xian, how do you talk about the flame rune? You can take the robbery after hearing it, which can burn those beasts with great pleasure. Xiao Xian flipped through ancient books and pointed to a vague pattern in the morning light. In the notebook, Yui's pen, the weakness of the demon beast is fire attribute, especially the low-level fur is flammable. In the bright, your token can inject power to activate this rune. We designed a flame ring, a ground painting circle with a flame talisman embedded in it. The demon beast detonates as soon as it steps on it, specializing in group attacks. The scope is expanded to the entire field, and it can be connected to the internet, and it does not miss the internet. At the beginning of the bright spot, a warm feeling surged in my heart. Last night he was still groping for himself. Now the team division is clear, and the blood of Lei is like a torch, and the knowledge of Xiao Xian is like a guide. He squatted down, his spirit stormed out from his fingertips, and lightly planned runes on the lawn. The blue light flashes, the air is hot and the waves are rolling, and the soil makes a sizzling sound, like on a hot iron plate. The air formation method is formed, and a circle of flames that is 5 meters straight floats invisibly, with the surface moving like lava. Try it. Awesome. This thing is powerful, and those monsters are skewers. Xian Lei slapped his thighs excitedly, accidentally kicking over a stone head, making it crisp. Xiao Xian gave him a blank look, small sound. We have to set it off quickly. The red light of the cracks in the night was getting brighter and brighter. I guess there was a big move today. The three of them acted separately. Mingxuan led the core eye, and Lei was responsible for fixing rune support around the iron tube. Xiao Xian used his mobile phone to record the position to ensure that the system was connected. Sweat slipped down Minghua's back and mixed with the moisture of the soil. He felt that the power was consumed a lot, but every time he completed a day, he felt a little more fulfillment in his heart. Previously, he had to participate in all social activities, and now he is just shaping a hidden defense line for the entire campus. This responsibility came like a mountain, but it turned his heart from being excited to being determined. He couldn't let his classmates repeat the shock of last night, so he had to take it. Just as they were busy on the west side of the playground, a cold voice came from the shadow of the tree. "Stop! What are you doing? That jade tag is the fortune of Xintian sect? Is it a mortal boy? Where can I touch it?" The three of them turned around and saw only a tall and thin boy walking out from the pine tree, wearing a common wardrobe that was seen in the campus, with a sense of indescribable pride. His eyebrows were so arrogant, his eyes were as sharp as a keel, and he was holding a silver-colored hanging wall in his hand, hiding the light of the flashes. He is Tanny, a child of the Immortal Cultivation family. He has been immersed in the edge of the hidden world since childhood. He usually sways in the campus and monitors the excitement. At this moment, he stared at Ming Zheng's jade token. His face turned blue. That token is a sacred thing in the sect, and has been wandering around for 100 years. Did you come here? Or did you steal it? Hand it over immediately, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. The first thing that happened was that Lei was so angry that he picked up the iron tube and slapped it in front of Ming Kai. "Who are you? How cares about things? We are saving people. How are you going to get rid of things?" Xiao Xian also became alert and grabbed Ming Kai's sleeve. "School Tianny? He is also a bloody man in Immortal Cultivation. I have heard that his family is a family of the Hidden Family, a specialty demon." Ming Wei's heart was tightened, and his spiritual instinct rushed towards the jade tablet. But he didn't move, took a deep breath, and his brain flashed past the team's tacit understanding last night. It's not enough to rely on hard work alone, he has to use his brain. He stepped forward and said calmly, "President, my name is Ming Qi, sophomore. I use tokens. I activated the system last night and saved a few classmates. It's not a slap, it's a slash. Do you want to stop us from placing them? No matter which one you belong to, the campus is about to become a battleground." Tianyi sneered. The silver wall shone brightly, a wind blade was formed invisibly, and a thin voice slashed out from the air. "Strange? A joke. The Xintian sect is protected by our family. You, a foundation-free cultivator, will be useless to activate it. It will only cause more madness. Hand over the token, and I will take you through the secret passage to avoid any harm." The conflict broke out as soon as it touched, and Xian Lei stepped forward and said, "Come on. I'm not afraid." Xiao Xian was anxious. "Student, listen to it. Ming Yi's method of fighting proved last night that the demon's beast is weak and the flame ring he designed can expand the scope. Isn't it better for us to work together?" Seeing the situation, the heart quickly moves. If he can't fight, he has to resolve it. This is the first class of the leader. He raised the jade plaque and the blue light reflected everyone's face. "School, look at this rune. Last night, I used it to kill the 5 demon beasts, and the power value increased twice. It's not bragging, but a real testimony. If you don't believe it, who's the way of fighting? I heard me and won the token to you. But now, the campus is in danger, cooperate first." Tianyi narrowed his eyes and the wind blade dissipated. He hesitated for a moment and watched the three of them, Xian Lei's passion, Xiao Xian's determination, and Ming Wei's appearance. This kid is not simple, for mortals to exercise, only one night? Finally, he pointed, "Okay, a small trial. See if you can hit the middle demon in this flame ring. If it fails, the token will be taken away by me. The error will be resolved, and the 4 of them worked together to speed up the deployment." Tianyi's joining was like a tiger adding wings. He pointed to the rune connection, and the scope of the air skills instantly doubled. The field was surrounded by fire, and the heat waves were rolling, and the grass leaves were slightly burnt. Mingwei relaxed his voice, from being suspicious and anger to being tolerant. This turned him into thinking, cultivating immortals is not only power, but also has to pull people. The sense of responsibility was like a vine. He thought, I must be a good leader if I can't let the team disperse. The sun rose and the campus was noisy. The students went to the cafeteria in 3 and their smiles covered their worries. However, the red light from the cracks flashed in the back mountain, and the demon invasion exploded again. This time, it was not a low-level pawn, but a medium-level change. The leader was a giant wolf-like demon, with a calf-shaped body, hair like a steel thorn, red eyes, and claws treading the ground and blue like earthquakes. There were more than a dozen little monsters around, with fishy winds and burnt smells of sulfur mixed with. They headed straight to the playground, knocking over the chair along the way, and the wood chips flew, and the students screamed. Medium-level fire wolf. The weakness is the soft skin on the abdomen, but the attack is fierce. Tiani shouted softly, and the silver slam shot out the wind blade, killing the two little monsters. Elay smashed the air and flew away. Xiao Xian retreated and pointed, the law of the air is activated. Mingxuan, get on. Mingxuan rushed forward and his power rushed forward. The giant wolf rushed over, its claws were like bowls, bringing wind pressure to tear the air. He was too lazy to get enough, and his heart sank. It's over, this speed is too fast. Just at the moment of the claws and bodies, the Jade Tablet drama is used to make a move. The system prompts, crisis detection, hidden skill unlocking, spiritual protection shield. A transparent light curtain spreads like water waves, covering the whole body. The claws hit and released a huge impact of gold and iron, and the shield was shaken without breaking. The recoil force made the giant wolf retreat several steps and its claws burst into smoke. It's great! Ming Qi was ecstatic. This shield was like a second-level skin, and the flow of power was full of superiority mortals. That refers to the person who killed others. He is now an immortal cultivator. From being beaten to being easily resolved, it feels like pulling out your feet from the mud, free and powerful. He shouted, all members retreat, I will attack. The flame locks the circle, explode. The giant wolf roared and came back again. The Ming dynasty wandered around the sea, and the shield hit several attacks. Each collision made his spirit more mature. The hot waves in the air were overturning, and he led the giant wolf into the core circle. The flame rune is activated, and the red light bursts out, like a fire dragon storm. The giant wolf's hair was burned and howled, and the soft skin on his abdomen was exposed. Mingyi grabbed the time, injected the jade plaque with his power, and a blue light arrow shot out, stabbing the vital points. The giant wolf twitched, the demon pill exploded, turning into a spirit and pouring into a token. The head of the little demon around him fell down, fled in all directions, and hit the fire network, and the entire number was burned. The scene was filled with smoke, and the burnt meat smelled pungent. The students watched from a distance, thinking it was a smoke show. Mingyi gasped and put away his shield. His body was as strong as a river, and his realm was hiding. He looked at Tianyi and the other two and smiled and said, Student, why are you doing this? Is this a stable method? Tianyi put away the silver wall and his eyes were confused. You kid, have 2 times. The token is in your hands, or maybe it is God's will. From now on, I will join. There are big slanders behind those cracks, and it is not enough to fight alone. Elay laughed and patted Ming Kai on the shoulder, boss is mighty. Xiao Xian, record it. This is our team's first mid-level victory. Xiao Xian pointed her head, her eyes filled with admiration. Ming, you just had that shield, so bad. Thank you for your leader, we all depend on you. Mingyi wiped his sweat and a heat gushed in his heart. From last night's loneliness to the current team core, this responsibility has made his shoulders heavier and straighter. He looked at the remote campus and thought to himself, I can't stop, this is just the beginning. I have to become stronger and keep everyone. The red light in the crack is still flashing, and the storm is coming, but with them, he is not afraid. In the afternoon, under the sunshine, the four of them gathered in the backyard of the old library to discuss the next plan. Tiani brought a new story. The demon beasts evolved quickly, and there's probably a second wave at night. We have to activate the hidden channel of the token and connect the inheritance of the sect. There are stronger techniques there, but they need to be certified by blood. Mingxuan pointed his head, held the jade plaque, and his spirit was like a heartbeat. The team's tacit understanding is like the internet, and the more organized it becomes, the closer it becomes. He feels that he is no longer the confused college student, but the leader who shoulders the mission. In the backyard of the old bookstore, the sunlight in the afternoon passes through the spots under the spotted leaves, and the air is filled with the ink fragrance of Chen's scrolls and the moisture of the soil. Minging leaned against the stone bench, and a spirit stone lifted from the giant wolf demon pill was moved in his hand. Blue light reflected from the surface of the crystal, making him feel the spirit inside his body slightly restless. The battle last night to this morning made him consolidate his foundation from the early stages of his training, but the campus crisis was far from over. The red light in the cracks in the mountains far behind was becoming more and more dazzling, like a hidden giant gasping, occasionally sending a low buzzing sound, which made the ground dimly shake. The students were still deceiving themselves as earthquake warnings, but they knew that it was a sign that the demon channel was about to be expanded. Fuck, this red light was not so bright last night. It was like a light tower at noon today. I guess there were big waves of monsters coming out in the evening. He lay squatted on the ground, wiping the blood on the iron tube, his face covered with sweat beads and mud, and his bloody eyes were filled with excitement. Boss, our skills have been upgraded. Don't hide those spirit stones and smash them into the fire prevention network. Otherwise, the middle-level monsters will be one after another, and the field will be a slaughterhouse. Xiao Xian clicked the head, flipped the ancient books, and locked the eyebrows. Yes, Yui's notes say that channel expansion will attract nest-level monsters. They not only irritate, but also ate nests and predate. It's clear that your token runes have potential, and we try to verify the lower level, saying that it may unblock stronger defenses. The spirit stone has high energy, just as a catalyst. Tiani leaned against the wall, crossed his arms to his chest, and the silver mat shone slightly on his chest. He had not fully integrated into the team yet, and his eyes were alert. Don't be too happy. Family information shows that this rift connects a small passage from the alien world, and the demon nest may be hidden underground in the campus. It won't take long to rely on the siege, so you have to find the source. But you mortal boy. Forget it, strengthen it first, I'll help you connect the stable rune. Ming Xiao smiled, and a warm feeling surged in his heart. From last night's isolation to the present, the four people bite like a wheel. He felt that he was no longer the otaku who dragged his back legs, but could hold up the leader of the sky. Responsibility is like a rope on his shoulder, tightening his nerves and making him more awake. Okay, move. Lazy, go to the field to patrol and pay attention to the students' movements. Xiao Xian, let's verify the runes. Tiani, help you set up an external network. First use the spirit stone to strengthen the existing methods and expand the entire campus. They are busy. Ming and Xiao Xian came to the secret stone platform in the backyard. This was the deserted corner of the old library, with vines crawling around, and the wind blew over and rustled, like an ancient secret in a low voice. Ming Qi took out the 5 spirit stones and took the tiring spoils from the killing last night, and injected spiritual power into his palm. The stones were hot, and the blue light spread like water waves. He felt the body was light and dirty, as if soaked in a hot spring. Xiao Xian approached, and her long hair swept over his arm, bringing a faint jasmine fragrance. Concentrate and touch the central rune of the token. I used family oral help to try the upgraded version of the Guardian Lock. Ming took a deep breath and pressed the jade sign on his finger. The energy of the spirit stone flows in like a flood, and the runes lit up the light of the golden blue corpse. The air was filled with energy, surrounded by thunderous buzzing sounds, and the ground around the stone platform was slightly raised, as if the earth was breathing. Xiao Xian chanted a curse, the Xiantian is full of blood, and the blood is full of birds, open. In the jade plaque, a crack-like blue light burst out from the ground, swelling into the sky. The system starts in the brain of the open, the rune verification is successful, the hidden channel entrance is activated. Primary inheritance and interpretation, Xiantian heart method. In an instant, a vast torrent of information poured into the brain like a tide. Mingwei widened his eyes and felt that the Dantian was exploding like a volcano, and the power was spiraling wildly, expanding to an unprecedented width. Xiantian heart method. This is the basic technique of the ancient sect. It specializes in spiritual circulation and has 3 times faster cultivation speed than that of the mortal Dharma door. He felt that every inch of flesh and blood in his body was reshaping, his muscles were solid like iron, and his vision extended to 1,000 meters away, which could clearly capture the movements of the fissures behind the mountain. The realm rises like a rocket, and the mid-level exercise is stable, and the power value surges to 80/200. The power hit his heart like a huge wave. He couldn't help but growl, and his fist hit the stone platform, making a fuss, and the stone chips flew. This inheritance is too strong. Ming Qi stood up panting, his heart turbulent. Previously, he thought that cultivating immortality was an unattainable Shuangwenkyo section. Now, this infinite possibility spreads like a galaxy, and the desire for conquest and confidence spread like wildfire. He looked at Xiao Xian and smiled and said, "Thank you, Xian Xian. If you don't have your help, I can't touch the door." Once this mental method is used, the power of the spirit will flow smoothly, and the cultivation will rise up straightly. Our methods of fighting can be upgraded to multiple levels: external level hunting, medium level burning, and internal level gathering and retaliating. Xiao Xian's face turned red and wiped the sweat from the bottom of her head. "Don't call me Xian Xian, it's so stingy. But congratulations, this speed is scary in the middle of the exercise. The entrance to the passage is stable and can be used in the temporary repair room. Go and strengthen the clothing method, and the crisis will be upgraded." At the same time, Qing Lei ran back from the gym, panting, holding his phone in his hand. "Boss. The news is coming. Several classmates missed last night. I just asked the security guards and they finally appeared in the basement of the sports hall. There was an old passage on the side, which was usually locked, but this morning the door was broken, and a strange scream came from the inside. It must be that the demon had built a small nest. It is necessary to save people, and we will burst into pieces." Ming Wei's eyes lit up, and his mind moved around, and his power was as sharp as a knife. From defense to attack, this is a turnaround. You can no longer be beaten, you must take the initiative to pull out the poisonous sting. "Okay. Tianyi, you guard the outside world. Xiao Xian, prepare for backup. Lingshi, lazy, come with me. I will be the pioneer with the blessing of the mind." Tianyi's eyebrows said, "Wait, you kid dare to be tough just in the middle of the training? Family reports say that small nests have medium-level guardians, don't show off." But he didn't stop him, just kept up with the silver wall, as if he had deemed this leader by default. The entrance to the basement of the sports hall was hidden behind the stash, and the door was twisted as if it was torn open by huge force, and the air was filled with heavy smell of blood and mold. Ming Kai opened the door, and a cold wind swayed, scattering a deep breath. The staircase extends downward, with claw marks on the walls, and the sound of water dripping sounds like ghosts crying. The 4 of them came in, and the flashlight beam swayed, illuminating the fragments of clothing and blood scattered on the ground. Lei said in a low voice, "I heard that there is crying in my heart. My classmates are still alive. The channel is as wide as an old warehouse, transformed and piled with dusty sports equipment. Now, this place has become a gangster. More than a dozen low middle-level monsters are sitting on the plate, hair is tied into a nest, a middle-level spider demon spitting silk network in the center, trapping 3 trembling college students. Their faces are white, their clothes are torn, and the air is smelly and pungent. The spider monster's eyes are like red gems, and its 8 claws are like bowls, making hissing sounds, and the wire sticks like glue, dripping on the ground and rotting. Save people." Ming Qi shouted loudly, his mind moved, and his power surged out like crazy wind. He rushed forward, and the jade plaque shone brightly. He first activated the enhanced air method, the injected energy of the stone. Multiple blue nets floated on the ground, the outer layer was like an invisible hand, and the middle layer flame runes were burned and burned. The spider demon noticed that his 8 claw came, and the wire was whipped like a whip, bringing wind pressure to tear the air. The Mingxuan flashed his body, and the mid-stage speed made him look like a ghost. The shield opened and attacked, and the recoil force made the spider monster retreat and its claws burst out. Lazy, smashed the side wings. Xiaoxian, support from the spirit stone. Ming Qi shook his finger, feeling abnormal. This inheritance not only makes him fight like a cloud of water, but also makes him feel as calm as a soldier since he was panicked. Lei smashed the wire with the tube, and the iron tube bent and smashed the 2 little demons flying, roaring, "Fuck! These spiders are so disgusting." Xiao Xian threw out the spirit stone, the energy was integrated into the air, the flames exploded, the spider silk was burned, the smell of burnt meat spread, the internet student screamed and was saved, and after climbing out, he trembled, "Thank you. Thank you, the master." Tianyi looked behind him, and the wind blade killed the single demon beast. His eyes turned from suspicion to recognition. Boy is good, his mental method is pure. The weakness of the spider monster is the core of the abdomen, attack that. He finally took action, and the silver slam shot out the wind blade to help relieve Mingyi's pressure. As the ice and snow melted, he said in a low voice, "Family information, this nest is a passage outpost with greater force behind it. The demons not only invade, but also absorb the campus spirit and expand. Let's work with me, I provide the map." A small climax exploded. Mingyi seized the opportunity, and his power condensed into an arrow, stabbing the spider demon's abdomen. With the acceleration of the mind method, the arrow's speed is as fast as a flash, piercing the core. The spider monster howled, green blood sprayed, the nest collapsed, and the remaining monster beasts scattered, hitting the outer network and being extracted from semen. The fire was filled with smoke, the flames were falling, the spider demon crystal core was rising, and the power of the spirit increased again. The rescued student cried and said, "You are heroes. Those monsters came out from the underground." At the end of the battle, the 4 people withdrew with their students. Minging looked at the destroyed nest and his heart turned like a tide, from waiting for the rabbit to actively lifting the roots. This is his transformation. The crisis has been upgraded, but the team is stronger. He holds the jade plaque and looks at the red light in the back mountain. This is just a small nest, and the big channel is still there. Lazy, thank you for your feelings. Tianyi, the map is given to me. We won't wait, we will take the initiative to dig out the behind the scenes. As the sun sets west, the campus surface is calm and the underground is stormy. Mingyi felt that the power was like a river, and the possibility of infiniteness was ahead. He was no longer afraid of the slightest and walked towards the unknown. The night was as thick as ink, and the backyard of the old library in Huayang University was filled with blue light. Mingxing sat on the stone platform with his legs in his plate, his eyes were slightly erect, and the Xiantian heart dharma was like a rushing river. The spirit circulates in the veins, and every breath is like swallowing the essence of heaven and earth. The dantian is hot and surging, making him feel that the pores of his body are opening and greedily absorbing the surrounding spirit. The entrance to the hidden passage is under the foot, and the blue crack is moving like a thorn, constantly sending the ancient sect energy. He has never stopped since the sports hall, and the information conveyed in his brain is as unreasonable as a flood, and now he is finally calming his foundation. Who? Mingchang spitted out a breath, opened his eyes quietly, and the silky light flashed through his pupils. In the middle of his training, he felt that he was as sharp as a keel, and could hear the snoring in the dormitory and the snorkelings at the playground. The jade plaque lies in the palm of your hand, and the runes are slightly burning. The system prompts to chant in the brain. The Xiantian heart method is just completed, unlocking attack method, thunder talisman. Spiritual force condenses lightning and electricity, kills the scope, and is suitable for group battles. He tried to pinch his fingertips, and a small arc of lightning burst out, hitting the stone block beside him, making a crackling sound, and the stone chips were filled with the burnt smell of ozone in the air. It's too fierce. Ming-Chi smiled softly, and an unprecedented sense of confidence surged in his heart. Since then, he was afraid of his hands and feet in fights. Now the Thunder Talisman is like a divine weapon of heaven, making him feel that he is the invisible king in the campus. The growth of strength was not only refreshing, but also made him reflect, cultivating immortality is not a game that can be done alone. You have to pull the team together, otherwise no matter how strong it is, it will be difficult to win. Xiao Xian walked out of the shadow, holding ancient books in her hand, and still had the dusty soil in the afternoon on her face. Minghua, have you finished repairing? Yui's notes mention in the Thunder Talisman. This is the killer of Shantian sect, which specializes in the cold spirit of the demon beast. But activation requires more runes. Let's try the deep layer of the passage. I just used family blood to help, and the entrance was a little relaxed. Ming Xian stood up and patted her shoulder. Come on, let's go together. Where is Lazy and Tianny? Are they going to patrol? Xiao Xian smiled, approaching the entrance of the passage. Her long hair was lightly in the night wind, bringing a faint fragrance. Lazy went to the gym to hang out, and Tianny was monitoring the cracks. To be honest, he was just muttering that you are too crazy and dared to stay in the nest in the middle of your training, but he was a little impressed in his eyes. She pressed the jade plaque on her fingers, chanting a mantra in her mouth, and the golden light and blue light intertwined. The entrance of the passage is extended, and an ancient stone door shadow appears, with dense rune patterns engraved on the surface. Mingyi felt that the spirit was attracted, and new information was poured into his brain. A fragment of the sect's rebirth. Shantian sect was once the guardian of urban cultivators, and has fought against invasions from the alien world for hundreds of years. But on the stone gate, a relief sculpture was in front of you. The demon beast stormed out like a tide, and there was a black-robed figure behind the back, and the rune stated that the Demon Cultivation Alliance. The beasts opened the way, and the figures were shaped like a spirit. This wasn't the invasion of the demon zombie? Ming-Chi widened his eyes and his heart sank. Xiao Xian's animal brow reading, yes, the sect record says that the demon cultivator family secretly operates passages, absorbs the spirit of the campus, and cultivates a large group of demons. Huayan University is built on the ancient spirit, which is their goal. It is obvious that this sacred thing is not small, and we can't help it alone, so we have to contact more cultivators. At this moment, Yilei's shout came from afar, gasping for breath, "Boss!" The rift exploded. The demon tide has come out. This time it is a group of wolves and spiders, with 20 heads. The styling at the scene can't be stopped. I was injured a little with my leg, but it's okay. Ming-Chi felt nervous, grabbed the jade plaque and thrust out of the backyard. Hold on, I'll come. Xiao Xian followed, and Tianyi's voice came from behind. Boy, wait. I officially joined. Family experience. The demon tide has a leader, and the middle-level fire wolf king is behind. The wind blade helps you to thunder, don't wave. The four of them joined forces at the scene. Under the night sky, the red light of the cracks was like blood, and the demons were rushing out like a black tide. The low-level wolf demon has hair like a pinch, the spider spits sticky, the fishy wings are skewed, and the claws are scratched and rubbed. The lights in the student dormitory were swaying, and screams were coming. Yilei leaned against the tree, and his legs were tearing a hole. Blood was covered with green blood. Boss, the fire prevention network I installed had hit the first wave, but there were too many of these beasts. The legs were made by spiders, and it hurts, but it's okay. Ming Wei looked at Qian Lei's wounds. His heart was like a knife. Lei Zi was at the forefront from the beginning to the end. This passion made him turn into trouble. The team is not a tool, it is a brother. He can't let them take risks anymore, he has to stand up. Lazy, you are injured when you retreat. Xiao Xian, hold the backstop. Tianyi, the side wing blade is broken. I will stand on the tide and try it with a new method. Yilei wanted to argue, but Ming-Chi pressed his shoulder. You are my brother-in-law. If you hurt, stop. Let's become stronger together. Not one fell down. Ilay was stunned and grinned. Okay, boss. Be careful, don't let me get hurt in vain. The demon beasts rushed in, and the leading fire wolf pack roared like thunder, red eyes, and hot waves swelled. Minging took a deep breath. Xuantian's mind method was fully opened, and the power was like a crazily rushing towards the jade plaque. The thunder talisman was pinched, the electric arc of the fingertips gathered, and the air crackled, and the smell of ozone was as strong as before the rain. He shouted, "Thunder!" A blue-white thunder pillar fell from the sky, reaching 3 meters, and hit the center of the wolf pack. Rush! The lightning burst out like a silver snake dancing wildly, and the vision was white. The wolf demon's hair rose and charred in an instant, and the flesh burned, and the sniffed and fell to the ground. The demon pill shattered and scattered. The thunder and lightning waves sucked like whips, sweeping around spiders, cracking the net, and curling up into a group. The whole playground was like being kissed by Thor, and the ground was scorched, and the smoke was filled with pungent smell of burnt flesh. Mingyi felt that the power consumed huge amounts, and it was extremely refreshing. This compressed pleasure ran through the whole body like current, from the fingertips to the bottom of his heart. The double impact of power made him feel confident. I am now a thunder god in the campus, who will die? Fuck. Boss, this thunder is so bad. Ilay roared behind him, his eyes as bright as a light. Xiao Xian threw out the spirit stone to replenish the energy. Minghua, the talisman is released. The channel rune is blessed with you, and the thunder power is increased by 20%. Tiany's wind blade helped, and the single wolf demon was blocked, and he couldn't help but say, "Boy, the thunder magic in the family is not as pure as you. Remember, the thunder will backfire and leave 3 points of power." The Fire Wolf King was drawn out from behind, and his body was like a cow, and his flames swelled up toward the bright ring. The claws strike and bring fire, and the heat waves burn people. The Mingxuan flashed his body, and the mid-stage speed made him like a catkin in the wind. The shield was used to suppress the flames, and the recoil made the Wolf King stumble. He said in his heart, "You can't be sluggish, this is a fight for the team." Pinch your fingers again, and the second thunder pillar fell. The Wolf King roared, the flames collided with thunder and electricity, and sparks burst out like a fire. But the thunder power was even more powerful, and he penetrated the Wolf King's chest, and the green blood sprayed. It twitched and fell to the ground, the demon core fell, and the spirit stormed into the jade plaque. The tide-like demon beast collapsed under the thunder, and 20 of them turned into black smoke, leaving only sporadic slaughter escape. After the news, the sweat dropped smoothly, the power value dropped to 50/200, and the joy of changing the realm was smooth. The operation returned to peace, and students from far away looked at the head, thinking it was a thunderstorm night. He turned around and helped Xian lay up. "Brother, what about the injury?" "I will practice more next time and let you get on." Ilay patted him on the back and grinned in pain. "Little hurt, it's worth it. Look at your thunder, it's just a campus fire show. With you and the team, we are invincible." Xiao Xian came to help Ilay. "Minghua, just when the runes were activated, I saw a magic seal in the depths of E. They were digging spirits underground in the campus, and the demons were a cover, and the goal was to resurrect the ancient demons. We had to contact the Tiany family with tight contact." Tiany walked forward, the silver tilt put away, his eyes turned from cold apologize to his recognition. "Yes, I share my experience. The Demon Cultivation Alliance is hidden in the city dark network, and the family has suppressed a small nest. The demon tide is a tester, and the next wave will directly attack the core of the spirit, the underground of the old library. Your team is good, you are the leader, I hear the adjustment. But remember, the road to cultivation should not rely solely on hard work and wisdom." At the beginning of the morning, I looked at the 3 of them, and my heart was filled with warmth. Xiaoshuan's gentleness, brightness, and Tiany's experience are as reliable as a railway. He realized from the burst of confidence that power is for protection, not for showing off. The friendship deepened and nourished like a spirit. He smiled and said, "Thank you, everyone. I will hurt myself tonight and dig the underground nest tomorrow." The treacherous thing is big, but I am not afraid of you. Let's go back to the backyard to repair the building. The spirits are divided, and the head is in. The night wind blew away the smoke, and the red light in the cracks dimmed a little, but there was a buzz hidden underground. Ming Kai held the jade plaque and took a firm step. The laughter of the teen was rumbling behind him, and the road to cultivation was getting wider and wider. On the stone platform in the backyard of the old library, the night wind was blowing lightly, and the scorched earth smell left by the far-flung operation venue. Ming Chi put away the jade token and looked at the three of them, his heart storming like a tide. Last night's thunder battle made his body's inner power tremble slightly, but a bigger crisis was like a cloud pressure. The sound of the buzzing birds underground became more and more resonant, as if the earth was growing low. Although the rift was dark, it indicated that the storm was about to explode. He took a deep breath and said, "Everyone will have a rest first. The entrance to the passage is stable. I have to go in and explore the deep layer. The test paper mentioned in the inheritance can unlock something stronger. Lazy, have you been hurting your mouth? Xiao Xian and Tianyi, guard the outside, and there is a demon leaking net, don't let them get closer." Eli rubbed his legs and grinned, "Boss, go ahead. I have such a little injury. I can still smash the demon beast tomorrow. Be careful, don't get lost and become an old immortal." Xiao Xian pointed her head, her eyes were filled with worries. "Ming, remember the way of the mind, the test is mostly illusion war, don't take it hard and use your power to resolve it." Tianyi stands on the wall, and the silver wall shines slightly. The Xintian sex trial is a test of the mind and nature. The family has records, the palace of sections. If you hold it, you can get a big shot. But don't have many things, and if you go in the middle of the exercise, the risk will be quite high. Ming Xie smiled, held the jade plaque tightly, and pressed the blue crack at the entrance of the upper passage. The spirit is like a flood, the golden and blue light intertwined, and the stone platform drama is full of expansion, and the runes on the door are wandering like living things. The spirit in the air was as thick as a fog. He felt a hot dantian and the whole person was sucked into it. The sight darkened and it lights up immediately. There are endless shadows of the tombs around, the floating ancient dramas are densely filled with mysterious traces, and the wind blows through them and produces a low buzzing bird, like a storm. The shadows are like a dream, the ground is covered with clouds, and there is a floating palace far away. A stone statue stands in front of the palace, the old man with a long sword in his hand, his eyes are like electric. Zorapeo trial starting, the palace of sword and immortality. The host needs to travel through the three links, prove the sect and learn the sect. Failure, the power of the spirit will regress. Success, inherit the great success. The system sounds sounded in the brain, and Ming Xian felt nervous. This is not a game, it is a test of real swords and real guns. From small to old age, what he feared the most was pressure, but now, this sense of mission is as hot as fire. For the team and for the campus, he has to. The first aspect, phantom scene. The ancient dramas around were swaying, turning into countless dramas and swaying, and the drama was as angry as a blade, shaving the air and hissing. The bright body is flashing, the Shintian heart dharma moves, and the spiritual protective shield opens to the next first wave. The shadows were like rain, stinging his skin, and blood spurted out, but he gritted his teeth and said, "Come on." He pinched the thunder talisman, and the blue and white electric arc exploded, breaking several shadows. The inner self is as white as a flash. I used to hide in the dormitory, and now I have to stand up. The sword became denser, and he felt that the energy was draining like water leakage, and sweat mixed with the smell of blood slipped down the head. But with every blow, his mood became more stable. From panic to appearance, this change made his pace more stable. Finally, the shadow of the sword collapsed, and he picked up a sword. His spirit regained his strength, and his realm was invisible and relaxed. Second, the magical realm of the mind. A campus crisis appears in the shadow, the demon bites his classmates, and Qing Lei falls in a pool of blood, and Xiao Xian cries for help. The heart is as bright as a knife, and he is angry. Fake it. He strengthens the emotions, clarifies his original heart by his mental method, and his sacrificial mind is like a tide. He shouted loudly, and the spirit turned into a sword, and the illusion was cut off. When the magic shadow shattered, he felt that the power was stretched out, and his power was like a river shattering the dike, and he was intimate in the later stages of training. This not only involves strength, but also considers the mind and nature. From fear and learning to warriors, his inner mission is as heavy as a mountain. I cannot retreat, I am their shield. The third aspect, the swordsmanship. The old man in the stone statue resurrected and turned into a slayer soul. The long slayer danced like a dragon, and the slayer teared the clouds. Mingxuan had bare hands and fists, and felt that the jade plaque was full of birds. He silently inherited the story. His body was born with a new will, and he pinched his hands with both hands. Cracks come. The ancient dramas around him buzzed, gathered into a celestial world, and the light of the drama was like a galaxy. The sword soul laughed, "Boy, there is a kind of thing." The two swords collided, and the sky and the earth were shaking. Mingyi felt that the bones were as if they were being sucked, and the pain was so refreshing that they were extremely refreshing. Finally, his sword pierced the core of the sword soul, the shadow collapsed, and the palace door opened. Try to connect. Obtain the magic method, Wanjian sect. The realm is improved to the late stage of training, and the power value is 200/500. The fairy path is smooth, and the spirit of sect is just completed. Information flows in, the whole body of Mingxuan is like a spring breeze, the power fills every inch of flesh and blood, the vision is clear enough to see through the clouds, and the power is as majestic as a mountain collapse. He laughed and was ecstatic. For mortals to this point, this is my way. Wanjian sect summoning the imperial swordsman, thousands of swordsmanship, crushing the enemy, and specializing in the tide of demons. It was so exciting that he felt that the fairy road was no longer far away, but a smooth road under his feet, and his desire to conquer was spreading like wildfire. Once the passage is flashed, the light car returns to the backyard. It was late at night, and Xiaoxian and the other two were guarding him, seeing him safe and relaxed. Ilay shouted first, "Boss, your face is shining. Have you tried it?" At the beginning of the Ming dynasty, the new method of moving forward was demonstrated. A small light burst out from the fingertips, blocking the branches next to it, and the cut was smooth as a lens. It's done! Wanjian Jizong, a high-level military method. When the realm reaches the late stage of training, I feel that my whole body is lighter. Lazy, I have a spirit stone to help you with your injuries. Xiaoxian, thank you for guarding. Tianyi, this inheritance is awesome, we can fight back. Xiaoshuan's eyes lit up and said, Ming, you have changed, more stable. I just felt worried and I could imagine what you tried to do. I admire you, from an ordinary student to now, and we are holding us to guard the campus. Thank you very much. Her voice was soft, her face was slightly red, and her eyes were like water under the moonlight, which made Ming's heart warm. The emotions were like rain, and the clues began to appear. He smiled embarrassedly. All the team matters, let's go together. Let's go, the crisis is coming. The sound just fell, and the red light burst out from the cracks in the mountain behind it, like a sea of blood, and the buzzing birds like thunder. Large-scale demon worm invasion. This time it was not a small tide, but hundreds of wolves, mixed with spiders, middle and high-level defenders, and a giant spider king spitted like a net, covering half of the playground. The fishy wind swayed, the claws stepped on the earthquake, the students screamed everywhere, and the lights and fires swayed in the dark shadows. The buzzing birds on the ground turned into roars, the spirits were sucked, and the campus was like a boiling trunk. The ultimate trap, set up. Minging shouted, and the united team rushed towards the field. After Ilay carried the iron pipe and broke, Tianyi opened the road with a sword, and Xiaoxian threw a spirit stone to help. He led the leadership, and the power injected jade plaques, and the Wanjian sect was activated. The ground runes spread, like a slayer forming. The outer layer is captured by the old air, the middle layer is burned by flames, and the core is gathered. The empty space is cracked, hundreds of splatters are like meteors, the air is shattered, and the air is torn and sharp. The demon tide hit the outer layer, the wolf pack roared and slammed into the net, the flames burst out and burned the hair and burned the skin, and the burnt smell spread. The Spider King spitted the spider and the sticky wire was like a whip to slap the air, but Mingxuan sneered, "Crack out." The sword was scattered, and the sword light was like rain and pouring into the basin, and it penetrated the spider and stabbed the demons directly. The sword was as angry as a dragon, the wolf demon broke its bones, the spider's legs were broken, the flesh and blood were flying, and the demon pill exploded and the spirit was scattered. The Ming car wanders around the core, protects the body, slams the Spider King's claws, and recoils to make it retreat, with eight-eyed red eyes. The midterm climax exploded. The Spider King was furious and summoned the high-level guardians. The five-headed fire wolf will come, the flames will swell, and the heat will burn people. Mingwei's heart sank. I can't let my body break. His spiritual power was fully opened, and his inner soul changed like a butterfly. From the escape of students to the warriors, this sense of mission was like a fire burning his heart, guarding the campus and protecting his brothers. Team, go! Lei Zi smashed the side wings, Tianyi Fengshang hit the sword together, Xiaoshuan's spirit stone exploded. Lei roared and smashed the wolf's claws, Tianyi Fengshang helped the sword light, Xiao Xian threw the spirit stone and exploded the fire wolf's abdomen. The top Spider King of Ming Dynasty, the sect of thousands of swords, the sect has grown into 10 meters, the sect has been transformed into thousands, in the core of the Sprig Spider King. The sword light flashed like a star explosion, the Spider King howled, the green blood sprayed, and the silk network collapsed. It twitched and fell to the ground, the demon core fell, and the spirit rushed into the Ming Dynasty. Its realm was stable and its power was as strong as the sea. He yelled, "The tide is gone." The dead monsters collapsed, fled in all directions, and won the first battle. The smoke at the scene dissipated, and the sword marks were everywhere, and the students were shocked, thinking it was a special effect smoke. After the battle, the four of them breathed and merged. Xiao Xian held Mingxian with soft eyes. "You just look like a war god." "Mingxian, I have never admired anyone so much. You are not only strong, but will also take us." Mingxuan's heart beat faster and he held her hand. "Xian Xian, protect us together." Tianyi wiped the silver wall with a solemn face. "Go ahead first, but the Yin is deep. There is a thread inside the family. My uncle is the bottom of the Demon Cultivation Alliance. They use demons to dig out spirits, with the goal of reviving the ancient demons and controlling the urban Immortal Cultivation Circle. The campus is just the starting point, and the lower wave attacks the core of the underground spirit. Minghua, you are the leader. We contact the allies of the cultivation to dig out the roots. The Ming Dynasty is at the top, and the inner mission is like a sword. From now on, I am a warrior." The red light in the cracks flashed again, and the buzzing birds underground were not absolute, but the team stood shoulder to shoulder, and the fairy path was ahead. He was determined, and the sword was hidden in the night. The air in the backyard of the old library still retains the smell of the drama and the moisture of the night dew. Ming Chi put away the jade token and watched the three of them, and his voice was as steady as a rock. "Tianyi, what are the clues of the family that you said about the Demon Cultivation Alliance? We cannot wait, we have to block the entrance of the underground spirit first. Lazy, Xiao Xian, you go and strengthen the siege at the scene. Tianyi and I explore the cracks in the back mountain. Don't be too scattered, keep in touch." Xian Lei pointed his head, rubbed the wrapped legs, and grabbed the iron tube. "Boss, don't worry. After strengthening, I brought a few spirit stones for logistics, and smashed the demon beasts." Xiao Xian hugged the ancient books with a firm look. "I will read the runes and add a story to the inscription. I can predict the weakness of the demon beasts. Be careful, there is strange energy in the red light." Tianyi hesitated, and the silver slammed in the moonlight. He whispered, "The family just reported that on my uncle's side. They asked me to recycle the token, saying that you are a variable and will destroy the big. The Demon Cultivation Alliance has my ghost, and the spirit is their sacrificial. His fist was tight, his face was blue, like an iron block burned by fire. Mingyi patted his shoulder, his eyes like a sly, "Variables? Then let's change them." Your uncle's big plan is to sell the campus to change the ancient demons to resurrection? Tanny, choose a side station. The family is blocked, let's carry it together. Let's explore the crack first. Tiani took a deep breath, and the light of the silver wall dimmed a little. Okay, I believe you once. I will clear the old family's income myself. He turned around and followed, and his steps became decisive from the shady healing. This turn was like ice melting, and the team's new belt became tighter again. They just walked past the small mountain behind, and the crack suddenly exploded. The red light is like a blood column surging through the sky, the ground is covered with a buzzing sound like a scattered bird, and the air is filled with a sulfur-like rotten smell. Campus lights shook, and the dormitory far away screamed. Students thought it was an earthquake and formed a group. The crack was spread to 3 meters wide, and a big object suddenly crawled out. The head of the demon beast was shaped like a giant ink dragon, with black and shiny black as iron, with twin horns on the top of the head, purple light, and a tail swung and smashed several pine trees, and the wood chips flew like rain. Its body circulates the energy of the alien world, and the black and purple fog squirms like a living creature, slams into the ground, rushing directly into the spirits underground. As the smoke passes, the plants wither and the air runes on the campus begin to twist, like a sour iron. Don't die, this is the high-level Dragon King. The alien energy is sucking the spirit, and the students on the field are in danger. Minging felt nervous, and his perception extended over, feeling that his spirit was ejaculated like a dam. The Dragon King roared lowly, and his voice was like thunder, which made his eardrums buzz, and the purple fog spread. Several students fell to the ground and twitched, their faces turned black, as if they were poisoned. As the phone surged, Xiao Xian's voice was quick, Ming-Yi. The weakness of the Dragon King is the double-angle core, but the alien energy protects the body, and the air method cannot last for 5 minutes. Lei Zi is smashing the little demon. I use ancient books to explain it. The smoke will corrupt the mortal's veins and tighten the source. Lei's roar continued, Boss, my logistics are in place. The stones smashed 10 times, and the fireproof network held the edge, but the tail of the dragon came and the iron pipes were wiped out. Xiaoshuan's information was accurate, and the fog avoided the forest on the east side. There was a tributary of the ancient spirit, which could retaliate against the energy. Ming Qi shouted, Tianny, the wind blade is foggy. Lei Zi and Xiao Xian lead the Jiao King to the east side, and I will attack the core. The team listens to the orders, don't fight hard, and take it smart. His voice was like a war drum, rushing across the night sky, and his leadership was like an invisible sword, uniting the hearts. Before, he was still swaying, now, every sentence is as precise as the spirit, allowing the 3 of them to walk smoothly. The Dragon King noticed that his tail was whipped like a whip, bringing wind pressure to tear the air and hitting the bright horse. The purple fog is rolling, and the rotten smell is pungent and as toxic as the air. He flashed his body, and his late-stage speed made him look like a ghost. His shield was shaking down, and his tail was tilted due to the shock. Tanny Silver Basin exploded, and the wind blade rolled into the smoke like a dragon, tearing a hole. The family's wind is a special fog. But my uncle sent me a message saying that the Jiao King was born in the Alliance and could not be killed. Go to him. His eyes were red, and the wind blades were connected, resolving the family's invisible obstacles and turning into a determined ally, with an extra thread between the sword's eyebrows. Fuck. Boss, take the east side. Xian Lei roared, and pulled out of the forest, and the iron pipe wrapped in a spirit stone hit the abdomen of the Dragon King. Dong! The huge wave was like a clock, the pieces were shattered, the green blood was sprayed, and the Dragon King roared and turned his head. Xiao Xian was behind her, and the ancient books in her hand shone brightly. She shouted, Revelation. The 2 corners gather energy, and the fog of the corner is half reduced. The east side spirit can leverage power, and shout guard when activated. At the point of the bright head, the mind moves, and the power of the soul is like a river rushing towards the jade plaque. During the crisis, he felt that the Dantian bottle was slackeningly, the door of the foundation was opened, but it needed a breakthrough. He took a deep breath and pinched his hands. The Wanjian sect is open. Runes on the ground exploded like a galaxy, blue light penetrated into the sky cracked, and thousands of swords were as angry as rain. The sword is white and white, carrying thunder and thunder. Each sword is like a real thing, tearing the air and shaking out sharp edges, turning into storms, and directly storming the Dragon King. It's refreshing like a tide. The Dragon King roared, and the purple fog protected his body, and could not hold back the rain. The sword air penetrates the mist, like a snail piercing into a piece of flake, flesh and blood fly, the dragon's body twitches, and the energy in the opposite world scatters like smoke. Minghu roared wildly, "This is the Overlord's power." From a mortal boy to a slogan crusher, this kind of divine quality was like a volcanic spray, which made him feel that the campus was in control. The sword storm expanded, covering 10 meters, and the dragon's tail was scattered by the sword network. The slicing fell and the pain shook the sky. "Lazy, smash the corner." Mingchi pointed and sounded the sound of the mirror. The fire rose, and the iron tube wrapped in a spirit stone was like a rock smashed down, click. One corner broke, the purple fog was halfway, the Dragon King was crazy and his tail swept towards Xiaoxian. Xiaoxian couldn't avoid it, and Tiany's wind slammed, "I'll come." He resolved his final thoughts, and the wind slammed together, broke his tail, covered the ground with green blood, and sizzled the lawn. The team is tacitly aligned. When Elay's logistics is replenished, the energy of the spirit stone is injected into the sword, Xiaoshuan's information is accurate, and the weakness of the Jiao King is predicted, Tiany's alliance is relocated, and the wind helps the sword. Minghuo wanders around the core, and the storm is surging again, thousands of storms gather into giant storms, piercing the double horns and storming. The last roar of the Dragon King, energy retaliated against itself, exploded into the black-purple light ball, and rushed towards the center of the campus. But Minging shouted, "Prevent!" The east side spirit activated, and the blue light bounced back like a net, the light ball collapsed, the fog subsided, and the spirit remained stable. During orgasm, Ming felt like the bottle croaking like thin ice. The spirit power surged wildly, the golden elixir of the Dantian was first condensed, and the foundation was successful. The power of the new student is like a crying, filling the whole body, reshaping the body, doubled its strength, and extending its vision to the entire campus. He growled, and the last slap passed through the core of the Dragon King. The giant beast twitched and turned into a black smoke. The demon core fell, and the spirit rushed into the jade plaque like a tide. System tips: the foundation of the foundation is first formed, the new spiritual power is injected, and the realm is stable. Secret of unlocking the sect: spiritual protection. The smoke dissipated at the operating venue, the red light dimmed, and the crisis was transferred. The students watched far away, thinking that the smoke ended, and screaming turned into a discussion. Mingyi landed on the ground with a breath of breath, his sword closed, and his heart was full of achievements: lead the team, break through the foundation, and this growth is like a phoenix nirvana. He turned around and smiled, "Fuck beautifully." Lazy, the injury has not worsened, right? Xiao Xian, the love is accurate. Tianyi, thank you, we will bear the family affairs together. Xianlei wiped his sweat and laughed, "Boss, your sword reign is simply the campus fire king. Your legs are fine, I will continue to do the logistics." Xiao Xian approached, her eyes lit up, "Minghua, have you been foundation? I feel you have become stronger. Our tacit understanding is invincible." Tianyi put away the silver wall and pointed at it, "The Dragon King is recreated, and the alliance dares not move for a short time. But the underground spiritual core is still digging. The demon cultivator is my uncle, and we have to snatch the yellow dragon. Minghua, you are the leader, I hear it all." Mingyi held the demon core tightly, and his spirit was like a heartbeat. The night wind blows, and the chaos is full of prophets, but he knows that this is just a turnaround. The underground buzzer is hidden, and the demon cultivator is like an undercurrent. He looked at the old library, stay for half an hour, then go into the underground. The team is so brave, the fairy path is in vain. The crowd pointed their heads, walked forward shoulder to shoulder, tacit understanding is like a sword, and the light is revealed. The air in the basement of the old library was as hot as a steaming pot, smearing the damp musty smell and intimidating blood. The iron door was open with a light wheel, and his footsteps were rumbling on the narrow stairs, as heavy as a heartbeat. After he felt like a spider net, he could hear the buzzing bird deep in the wall. It was a spirit gasping, like a throat tightened by something. Behind him, Ilay was carrying the iron tube and Xiao Xian was holding ancient books. Behind Tianyi Palace, for people were fishing in, and the light beam of their hands shook, illuminating the covered claw marks and yellow rune slants on the wall. "Boss, this underground passage is deeper than I thought." Just now, the smoke of the Dragon King was still spreading, and it was thrilling. Ilay complained in a low voice, but he didn't stop. His bloody eyes flashed in the dark, like a torch that was not burning. At the beginning of the bright spot, the spirit shield quietly opened, and the blue light hid the team. "Be careful, this is the core area of the spirit. The Dragon King is just an outpost, and the source is in the further." "Xiao Xian, does your ancient books have maps?" "Tianyi, where's the family resources?" "Don't hide them, it's time to join hands now." Xiao Xian flipped through the book page and pointed to a blurred line with the beam of light. "In the notebook, this passage connects the abandoned factory area along the city, which is the ancient spirit reunion point. Runes show that invasion is not natural, but man-made, like a method guiding the alien energy." Tianyi's silver wall flashed, and he took out his cell phone from his pocket and whispered to the conversation, "Uncle, it's me. Don't miss it, the family map was posted. The nest of the Demon Cultivation Alliance is underground in the factory, and I have allies." "Yes, that boy Ming, the token is in his hands." "Resources?" "Give me 3 talismans and a letter of information, otherwise the family regrets it." After the break, he passed a jade simplified. The family's hidden silhouette method of diving into the factory can conceal the wave of spirit. According to the story, the Alliance's head is a demon cultivator at the peak of the Liji Peak. He uses demon beasts to suck spirits in pictures to resurrect the Nether Demon Lord. The campus is just a test site, and the entire city is the goal. Minghua connects jade silhouette, injects spirit, and a 3-dimensional map appears in the brain. A winding underground tunnel leads to the suburbs of the waste factory, with red markings with many cracks. My heart sank, and it turned from the joy of the Dragon King's battle to the warning. This sacred manipulator was like the tip of the iceberg, and the manipulator was hidden in the dark. He took a deep breath, and the spirit of the Foundation was as strong as a warm current, calming his mind. "Okay, dive plan. We enter from the east tunnel to avoid patrolling the mob monster. First explore the source and break the root of the rift. Lazy, after you break, Xiao Xian, when you report it, Tianyi, helps the style. I lead the head, use the Foundation to scan." As the tunnel became deeper and deeper, the wall began to emit black and purple mist, like a living poisonous snake, and the sound of rotten sounds came out from the touch. The Mingjing moves to the Shantian heart method, and the power turns into an invisible barrier to suppress the smoke. Suddenly, a buzzing bird was buzzing in front of him, and a crack appeared. 3 middle-level demon wolves were scattered from the red light. The hair was like a steel bead, the eyes were green, and the claws were scraped like knife. They growl low, swaying in the fishy wind, and straight into the team. "Come on! Boss, come on!" Ilay snatched the pipe and the iron pipe bent and sparked. Mingwei's heart is slightly tiny in front of the Foundation. This scene will make his legs soft. Now, the power is as stable as a mountain. He sneered, stepped on his feet, and the power of the Foundation exploded. The golden elixir of the Dantian rotates, and its power is like a flood. When the fingertips pinch it, Wan Jianji Zong. The empty space cracked, and hundreds of sword lights went out of the sea like silver dragons. The sword air was shining, and the air teared and burst out sharply. The demon wolf came and was worn by the rain, its fur was shattered, and the green blood was sprayed like rain. They roared and thrust, but the sword light was like a net, easily crushing. The demon pill exploded, and the spirit rushed into the Ming body. Cool! This power is like a wild horse, and the joy of a stable realm is drawn from the Dantian to the brain. Since then, he may have been like a nightmare. Now he is in control of the overall situation, and his mind is like an arm and finger, and every move is accurate and fatal. The inner heart turns like a flash. I am no longer a student who escapes, I am a strategist, I am the master of this battle. He shouted, the source of the rift is on the wolf's back rune, smash it. Tiany's wind blade helped, and the rune was broken, the rift collapsed, and the red light dissipated. Awesome! Boss, you straighten your arms. Eli gasped and patted his shoulder, his eyes as bright as a light. Continue to move forward, the tunnel is as far as the factory's underground nest, the wide cave is like a honeycomb, the wall is embedded with crystal stones, and the spirit is extracted by the black-purple aura. On the central sacrificial priest, the black-robed demon cultivator sat in the plate. The peaks of the base were breathing like mountain pressure. There were more than 10 fissures around them, and the demon beasts were lying in groups. The middle-level demon king, a beast like a giant lizard, with a flash of poisonous light, and his tail swung to smash the stone block. The demon cultivator sneered and sneered, Tiany? Are you bringing mortals to die? Hand over the token, otherwise the spirit will explode and the campus will be completely destroyed. Tiany's face was green. Uncle, did you sell the family to the demon lord? The invasion of the demon zombie is controlled by you. An internal crisis broke out, and the demon cultivator laughed and summoned the wind blade to retaliate against Tiany, traitor. The family resources are given to you to recycle saints, not to join outsiders. Tiany's silver wall shook, and the wind blade was suppressed. He took a step back, his eyes flashing. When Xianlei saw this, he was so hot that he rushed forward without saying a word. The iron tube wrapped in a spirit stone hit the demon cultivator's side. Go to your mother's uncle. Tiany is our brother. Whoever moves him, I will smash your brain. Dong! The huge shock was shocking, the magic cultivator's shield shattered, and Eli's lead was damaged and gritted his teeth and stopped him, shouting, Boss, chance. Lazy, I'm on top of the ghost, you cut the crack. Lei's hot blood shone like a torch, Mingxuan's heart warmed up, and he instantly turned from the perspective of the strategist. Lazy, get hurt when he retreats. Xiao Xian, rune activated, Tiany, wind blade protects her. I'm broken. At this moment, his growth revealed not only the energy, but also the use of his brother's hot blood to turn the crisis into a transfer. Xiao Xian took a deep breath, rushed to the fortress, and took out the jade plaque to help. The final rune, open. She pointed to the ancient books, and the golden light stormed into the token, and the inheritance of the sect was like a tide. The complete secret script of Xiantian floated into the brain, guarding the Dharma, Xiantian glass. An ancient lens is formed in a virtual shadow. The lens is like water waves. After being injected with spiritual force, it amplifies and turns into a 10-meter giant lens. The lens light swept through the cracks, the runes disintegrate, and the alien energy retaliates against the demon beast. The team won the treasure, protected the body, resolved the attacks of demon cultivators, and returned the power to regain the spring. Mingyi grabbed the time, and the power of the foundation was fully opened. He stepped on the fortress. Middle Demon King, go! The giant lizard rushed over, and its poisonous tail was like a whip, bringing green fog and rotting air. He flashed his body, and his mind gathered, and he was promoted to the sect of the sect. After the foundation, the sect light brought golden light, and thousands of sects were like real bodies, and they were smashed down. The lizard king's fragments were shattered, his tail was broken, and he roared at the hole, and he was trapped by the sword network. Ming, who was filled with joy, control the overall situation, this is my era. He stabbed the core with a sword, and the demon king exploded, his spirit was like a river and poured into the golden elixir, and his realm was even more stable. The demon cultivator roared, and many cracks burst out, and the demon tide surged out. But the Xiantian glass is so bright that Xiao Xian pointed to the point, glass. The beam reflected, the crack collapsed in 5 places, the energy from the alien world flowed backward, and the magic cultivation magic shattered. After he stepped down, his face turned pale. You have ruined the Demon Lord's project. The urban spirit network has been established, and the campus is just open. The slander surface was revealed. The Alliance controls the rifts across the country, uses demons to build the Demon Lord's resurrection camp, and aims to govern the world of cultivation. Tiany's wind blade was towards his uncle and dissolved the inner demon. Uncle, let's end. The demon cultivator's wind shield was blocked and hit by Ilay from the side. The iron pipe was shattered and broke. The uncle vomited blood and fell to the ground. Rebel, a traitor. Ilay gasped and said, I'm so hot and bloody, it's not in vain. The team is so brave, who can't break up? The battle sounded, the light of the Ming dynasty swept and scattered cracks, the 7th place was completely destroyed, and the nest collapsed. The demon cultivator escaped and said, the demon lord will wake up, the end of the city. The team withdrew, the spirit stayed stable, and the campus crisis was resolved. Mingcheng helped Xian lay up, and his inner self changed like a sword. From urging the teenager to strategist, this investigation not only cuts off the source, but also network counterattacks. He looked at the night sky in the city and said, Lazy, thank you, your passionate blood saved Tiany. Xiao Xian, the law treasure magnificent, Tiany, the family resources are so grateful. The pride is so big, but we have a plan. Contact the Hidden Alliance to dig the foundation of the Alliance. The immortal path begins with the strategy. Everyone pointed their heads, shoulder to shoulder, and opened the factory. In the night wind, the Xintian glass is hidden, indicating a greater storm. But Ming has made steady progress, and the joy of growth is like a spirit. At the last moment before dawn, the campus of Huayang University was covered in a strange atmosphere. When Minghua retreated from the factory underground, the sky turned pale and there were still smoke and bloody residues in the air. The 4 of them slid into the back mountain with their heads down, and their feet were in a hurry. The iron tube had been broken into 2 pieces. The corners of Xiaoshuan's ancient book pages were rolled up, and Tiany's silver wall was dim and vague. Ming Kai held the newly obtained Xintian glass silhouette. The lens is now hidden in the jade plaque, and with one force, it can summon the light curtain to protect it. He felt that the power of the first condensed golden elixir circulated like a warm current, and could not suppress the heavy weight of his heart. The demon cultivator escaped, and he was sitting in the city like a poisonous snake. This spiritual part of the campus was their next goal. Boss, the factory has collapsed, but my uncle's old thing runs fast. The family reported that he had contacted the main force of the Alliance and would probably come to take revenge tonight. Tiany gasped and said in a low voice, as the silence between his eyebrows had turned into a decisive decision. He wiped the ashes from his face, and the silver slab moved slightly, as if responding to his loyalty. Ming stopped walking and looked at the wheel of the old library. The lights in the campus were sporadic. The students were still sleeping and did not know that the crisis was approaching. He took a deep breath, and the perception after Suji made him hear the low geese of the underground spirit buzzing like a heartbeat, becoming more and more troublesome. Revenge? They want to dig for the spirit to revive the demon lord. Let's start first. The whole school will launch the camp and turn the campus into an iron bucket. Lazy, go to the field in the dormitory area to attract the arrest network. Xiao Xian, use ancient books to interpret the joint runes of the lens, and go to the old one, Tiany, the family resource regulating the risk of the spirit talisman, helping me to the core lens. I defend the entrance of the spirit and guide the storm. Ilay grinned and turned his blood on his head. Okay. I'll use a spirit stone as a weapon after I smashed it. The campus is our ground plate. Who will die? He patted Ming Kai's shoulder, turned around and rushed towards the venue, and his steps were lame. Xiao Xian was approaching Minghua, and her voice was soft and anxious. Minghua, I have read the secret script of the lens. It can connect the runes of the whole school and form the silver net. The lens reflects the air, and the large area of the slaughter. But activation requires the power of the foundation. Don't show off. I will help you. Her hands touched his arms, and her eyes were like water under the moonlight, and there was no need to flow into emotions. Tiany pointed at the head. I am familiar with my uncle's style, and the family gave him 5 high-level wind talismans. Ming, you are the leader, I hear you. His eyes were complicated, and from opponents to allies, this transformation gave him more responsibility on his shoulders. The three of them moved separately, and Ming went straight to the underground entrance of the old library. The spirit is injected into the jade plaque, and the mysterious lens summons out, and the lens spreads like water waves, reflecting the entire campus picture. Runes spread like spiders, from the back mountain to the playground, dormitory, and teaching building, and form a network. The air is filled with the fragrance of the earth and the flavor of metal. He felt the golden elixir rotation accelerate, and every time he posted a day, his mood became more stable. From the mortal boy to the master of the guardian of the Dharma, this path of cultivation was filled with blood and fire, which made him understand that strength was not for pleasure, but for this hot campus, guarding these smiling classmates and brothers. It was getting bright and the campus was hustle, and the students carried their bags to the cafeteria. Under the sun, they covered the danger. Mingxuan sat in the underground plate of the library, and the mirror was first formed, and the perception was like a network covering the whole school. Suddenly, the underground buzzer exploded like thunder. The spirit drama is filled with red light from the cracks in the back mountain, like a door of the earth. The demon army came to flock. Hundreds of large beasts were flooded like a tide, low, medium and high, mixed with wolves, spiders, and giant lizards. The leader was a base-level black dragon spirit, black and purple, and double-horned flashing magic light. Behind it, the uncle of the black-robed demon cultivator appeared, holding a bone staff in his hand, summoning the fog of the alien world and corroding the edges of the law of the sway. The fishy wind blew, the claws stepped on the earthquake, the students screamed everywhere, the chairs on the side of the playground were hit and the wood chips were like rain. The main force of the alliance. The campus is in a battle. Mingxuan shouted, his spirit rushed wildly, and the slide network was activated. The runes of the whole school are bright, like an invisible giant net, and the outside is caught like a wire, the middle layer of flames burned, and the core lens reflects the air. The demon wolf rushed to the dormitory, trapped the outside network, tightened his hair, and made a sound of bone cracks. The spider spitted back and hit the fire, the burnt smell spread, and the 8-claw burned into ashes. Refreshing as tide. Mingqi stood up, the power of the foundation was fully opened. The lens reflected the thousands of sword lights, like a galaxy, bursting out from the lens. The magic treasure of the sword air is magnified 10 times, the rain covers the playground, and the giant lizards are swept through the flesh and blood, and the demon pill explodes and the spirits are scattered. The sharp roar of air torn, the field was covered with silver white, and the bright feeling of the golden elixir was like a fire burning, and its power was unmatched. This historical slaughter was like the thunder god coming to the world. The tide collapsed half of the beast, the limbs were broken and the arms were covered with the lawn. The students watched from a distance, thinking it was a movie special effect, and they were filled with squeaks in their screams. Boss, stop at the top of the playground. Lazy, I smashed 10 little wolves, the spirit stones are almost gone. Xianlei's roar came from his cell phone. He danced the newly cranked iron stick, his blood was boiling, and his legs were damaged and he gritted his teeth and stopped. The mirror is stable, and there is a breakthrough in the east tree forest. Uncle is summoning the fog. Tianyi's voice was quick, and he rushed to the back mountain, and the silver bar exploded, breaking several fogs. But my uncle sneered and appeared, and his bone staff slapped, and the family's style backed down. Traitor. Demon Lord's great scheme, you have damaged the future of the whole family. Wind sect. The crazy wind was like a dragon rolling, wrapping Tianyi, the silver slab shattered, he took a few steps back, and the corners of his mouth were bleeding. Tianyi's eyes were red, and the loyal family and the team members were burning with fire. Uncle, you sell the spirit to the Demon Lord, destroying the Taoist sect. I don't recognize you. He crushed the last wind talisman, and his wind power reversed, turning into a wind storm to fight against his uncle. The bone rod collided, the wind blade intertwined, the air seemed to be torn apart, and the uncle retreated, his face turned green. Tianyi, you will regret it. The Alliance has controlled half of the city's cracks, and the campus has been destroyed, and you can't live. Tianyi shouted, and the wind swept through his uncle's shoulders, confirming that he was loyal and honest. From the siege of the children to the decisive warrior, this turn is like a sword being unsheathed, and the sensation is revealed. He gasped and said, "Minghua, I will hold my uncle, you will turn the dragon spirit." The climaxes continued, the black dragon roared, its tail swept towards the teaching building, and the smoke and corrode the mirror network was surrounded. Xiao Xian came out of the library, and the ancient book shone brightly and helped. "Minghua, the lens is upgraded." Emotions. "I can't let you go." She approached, her face was tied and her voice was trembling. "From the day you saved me, like you. I will accompany you to the end of this path of immortal cultivation. Activate and guard the campus together." Her confession was like a warm current injecting into Minghua's heart. The soul deepened, the spirit was together, the lens was prosperous, and the sword network doubled. Ming Xiao felt excited and woke up from the inner reflection. The road to cultivation of immortality, from the accident of picking up the token to the current leader of the Jingji army, this path is full of blood and friendship. It is not for personal pleasure, but to protect these people. Xiao Xuan's gentleness, Qianlei's passion, and Tianyi's transformation. He firmly believed and roared, "Xian Xian, thank you. The team is so brave, the tide of the beast is soaring." The spirit was fully opened, and the Xian Tian lenses were connected with thousands of dramas. The light reflected like the sea, and the drama storm swept across the school. The dragon spirit came and was penetrated by the rain, and the smoke disintegrated and the horns were shattered. It roared and turned around, hitting Tianyi's wind sword. My uncle took advantage of the bone stick to summon the small crack, and the demons gathered. The tight push in, the second wave of the beast tide surged in, the giant lizard broke into a corner of the plain, and the students screamed and fled. On the top of the Ming dynasty, the sword light was like a dragon rolling, slaughtering 10 heads, and the spirit returned to replenish the golden elixir. But my uncle smiled and said, "Boy, the token is mine." He took the jade plaque straight, and Tianyi slapped his chest with a palm, and Tianyi vomited blood and fell to the ground. "Minghua, do you win?" "Uncle, I'll fight with you." Uncle smiled and said, "Silly goods, the demon lord wakes up, your family is a royal family." Minghua's heart is burning like fire, and his faith is like iron. "I can't let the team disperse." He shouted, "Lazy," the spirit stone exploded its side wings. "Xiao Xian, the lens is foggy." Lay threw out the last spirit stone and exploded the side road of the demon group. Xiao Xuan's lens reflected, and the atmosphere repelled his uncle, and he shouted to retreat. The Minghua sword is fully opened, and a sword stabs at the core of the dragon spirit. The power of the foundation explodes, the golden elixir rotates like crazy, and the sword light penetrates. The dragon spirit collapsed, the energy from the opposite world flowed back, the school's magic was stable, the beast tide collapsed, the beast scattered, the uncle escaped into the rift and slandered the next sentence, "The demon lord has surrendered, the city is ruined. You can't hold it long." The campus smoke dissipated, the mirror network was bleak, and students discussed the issue, thinking it was a school smoke. Ming Qi helped Tianyi up, Xiao Xian and Bao Lei's injuries, the team merged. He gasped and said, "Uncle ran away, but the campus was guarded." "Lazy, hold on, Tianyi, you prove it, everything is worth it." "Xiao Xian, your confession." "I understand, let's go together." His heart was as sure as a sword, cultivating immortals, fighting for protection. This belief flows like a spirit. The urban shadow is still there, but the final conflict will be when the demon lord resurrects. The night wind blows, and the wind is full of strength and warmth. They shoulder to shoulder, and walk towards the unknown. In the basement of the old library in Huayang University, the lights are dim and yellow, and the air is filled with the scorched earth smell and bloody scent of the battle. Ming Yi leaned against the wall, and the power behind the foundation was calm like a tide, but the waves in his heart could not be suppressed. The old man of my uncle escaped and fell down, like a thorn in his brain. The demon lord surrendered, and the city was destroyed. The campus was held, but it was just a breath of breath. The real storm was pouring deep in the city. He looked at the 3 team members. Lei, who was wearing a new wound, Grinning and wiping the green blood on the iron stick, Xiao Xian lowered her head and flipped through ancient books, with dust still hanging on her face, her eyes firmly as if she was staring. Tiani sat on the ground with her legs, and the broken pieces of silver slabs were flashing in the palm of her palm, and his eyes were complicated, as if she had taken off 1,000 pounds of weight. Boss, my uncle's bastard ran away. The main force of the Alliance is probably heading here. The campus mirror network can hold on to the small waves, but once the permanent passage opens, the monsters are coming in like a tide, and the city is a slaughterhouse. Tianyi opened his voice in a low voice, with the bitterness of the family betrayal in his voice. He tightened his fist. The family information has just been reported. The first nest of the Demon Cultivation Alliance was scrapped in the suburbs of the city, and my uncle went there to merge. They used the demon beast to suck the spirit. Not as simple as the resurrection of the demon lord. The alien power wanted to open a permanent passage, connecting the two realms, so that the Demon King army would permanently penetrate the city. The campus spirit is a key, and once it is completely sucked, the passage will be stable. Ming Wei's heart sank, and his perception extends to the edge of the campus. He feels like his soul is pressed by an invisible big hand. The buzzing sound becomes more and more rapid, as if his heart is about to burst. He took out the jade plaque from his pocket, and the blue light reflected the faces of the crowd. Permanent passage? How can the dragon spirit be so fierce? On my uncle's bone staff, I glanced at the runes of the alien world. This is a marriage between the two realms. The demon cultivator sells the spirit to change his strength. Can't wait, we take the initiative to attack. Diving into the main nest of the iron mine, and breaking the source of the channel. Lazy, guard the campus network. Don't let the monsters in the leaking network be irrelevant. Xiao Xian, enter the nest with me to help seal. Your ancient books can untie the alien world. Tianyi, block their support, and use family ropes to seal the alliance to supplement the road. Eli stood up, slapped the iron stick, and the blood was on his head. Boss, don't worry. The campus is our home. I'll stay alone. I'll keep half of the spirit stones, and use it to smash the demon beasts. Go, fuck the Demon King. He patted Minjing's shoulders, walked steadily towards the stairs, and turned around and shouted, when you come back, please eat roasting, the blood will not flow in vain. Xiao Xian clicked her head, hugged the ancient books, and approached Mingxuan. I'm ready. There is a seal spell in her notation, and it is paired with a mysterious lens, which can lock the energy of the alien world. Mingxuan. Be careful, I don't want something to happen to you. Her voice was soft, and the feelings in her eyes were like morning fog, which made Mingxuan feel warm. He shook her hand lightly. Preserve together. Let's go. Tianyi stood up and closed the silver slaughter. Uncle's supplementary road is in the tunnel on the east side of the iron mine. I'll block it. The family has a secret whistle, so I'll contact them to turn against it. In the clear, there is a king-level demon king in the heart of the nest, and don't fight hard. He turned away, and his back became desperate from the hesitation. This turn is like a sword being unsheathed, which proves that he is fully integrated into the team. The three of them separated. Ming and Xiao Xian dived out of the campus. The night wind blew, the noise and fishy smell of the neon lights in the chaotic city were shaking. The iron mines in the suburbs have been gone for a long time, and the entrance is like a mouth of a giant beast, black and gushing out from the inside, as if they are dying in a whisper. They used Tianyi's hidden method to cover their breath and slipped into the main tunnel. The wall is as smooth as a tiny, dripping water sounds, and the spirit in the air is mixed with different scents and corrosive smell, making people's backs flutter. The Ming dynasty perceives like a net, sweeping deeper. The buzzing bird is like thunder. The spirit energy is extracted and imported into the central sacrificial sutra. Boss, there is a group of patrol demons in front of you, and there are 10 middle-level spiders. Xiao Xian lowered her voice and tightened his sleeves. At the beginning of the bright spot, the spirit quietly poured out, and the small range of the sect's activated 10 scattered lights were like hidden arrows, soundlessly penetrated the spider's brain. Green blood sprayed without sound, and the slaughter turned into black smoke. He felt that the power of the Qingji was like an arm and finger, and from the past he would sweat his palms. He was now as cold as ice, walking on the road to immortality, From the accident of picking up the token to the Qingji army, this change made him understand that heroes were not born, but climbing out step by step from fear. For those smiling classmates in the campus and for the team's passion, he had to bear it. The tunnel is the main nest, a huge cave like an underground palace, with spirit crystals embedded in the walls, which are scattered by black-purple sacs, extracting energy and importing them into the central permanent passage, a 10-meter-wide red and black vortex, with runes movable around it, devouring spirits like living creatures. My uncle sat on the sacrificial fortress, with bone staff flashing the demon light, and the surrounding demon beasts were in groups. The leading demon king stood like a mountain sway, the king-level ink dragon king, with a body of 20 meters long, black and purple woven pieces, double horns like demon horns, red eyes like blood pools. The strange boundaries around the body were like armor, and the tail swung to smash the stone pillars, and the huge wave was like thunder. It growled low, and the sound waves shocked the gravel at the top of the cave, and the fishy wind in the air swelled, and the stinking sulfur was stinking. "Boy, are you here to die?" My uncle sneered and stood up with a sneer. His bone staff was blown, and his fog was like a whip. The body was flashing, and under the shield, the power of the power reversed made my uncle stumble. "Where is Tanny?" "Traitor! The permanent passage is about to open, the alien army will flatten the city, your campus is just a sausage." My uncle smiled and revealed the core. The demon lord is in charge of the alien demon king, and build a bridge with the spirit. One more passage, the demon king will always be in the immortal world, and the demon lord will be as good as the demon lord. Mingwei's heart was burning like fire, and he sensed the horror deep in the vortex of the passage, the squirming shadow without any demonic shadow, like a door of a ground zombie. He shouted, "Xiao Xian, help seal. Uncle, you sell the spiritual destruction system, and it will end today." Uncle summoned a wind blade to counterattack, but was cut off by the Ming dynasty sword light and the bone staff shattered. He retreated to the passage and roared, "Demon King, go up. Tear him. Decide to explode." The Mo Jiao King roared, his tail smashed like a landslide, the wind blew the air, and the cave was shaken. The Minghua couldn't avoid it, the shield shattered, hit the wall, and bleeding from his mouth. Lu Ji was a king level, like a shaking tree, but he gritted his teeth and stood up, and his spirit rushed. "Xian Xian, the lens is opened." Xiao Xian rushed forward, and the golden light of the ancient book was injected into the Xiantian lens. The lens spread out, reflecting the energy of the channel, and the atmosphere decreased, helping the seal rune to float. Golden locks were like chains, slanting towards the vortex. The Dragon King came, his claws like a thorn, and grabbed at Xiao Xian. Ming, who was tightened in his heart, and his beliefs were ignited. "I can't let her hurt." From the day the school saved her, this emotion was as deep as a spiritual root. He had changed. He was no longer an ordinary college student, but a hero who was responsible for guarding her. The spirit was boiling, and the golden elixir bottle was swaying. He shouted, "Inheritance, wake up." The Jade Plaque Drama, the deep level unblocked of the sect, Immortal Gate World. Ancient information is like a flood that irrigates the brain. The Fairy Gate, summoning Shintian Fairy Gate to the shadow. The town suppresses all evil, seals the two realms, and specializes in the channels of the different realms. Strength awakens. Mingxuan pinched his hands, the golden elixir of Dantian rotated like crazy, the power of the spirit exploded like a sea, and the realm was invaded in the early stage of the golden elixir. The body is reshaped, and the whole body is like a fairy light. The musculoskeletons emit gold, and the vision extends to every inch of the cave, sensing and capturing the weakness of the Dragon King, the Hornheart Demon Core. The feeling of pleasure was like electric current spreading throughout the body, from the thickness of the foundation to the purity of the golden elixir. This uplift made him feel reborn, and his power was awakened in full, like a phoenix in the ashes, and the enemy was born naturally. The immortal gate, the world. Minging roared, and the empty space cracked, and a huge golden fairy door shadow fell to the corner, 100 meters high, like a pillar of heaven pressing on the top. The runes on the door are like stars, and the force of the town is like a mountain wall covering it, smashing the Dragon King. The Dragon King roared, his fog protected his body, and his tail retaliated. He was burned by the fairy gate light, and his flakes fell and his pain roared to the sky. My uncle's face turned pale. Impossible. Jindan? Boy, you are a variable. He summoned the demon group to come, but Xiaoshuan's lens reflected, sealed the golden lock's volatility, channel vortex retracted, alien energy retaliated, and the demon group twitched and turned into smoke. Single orgasm. The Dragon King was crazy and his double-horn magic light burst out. The fog in the opposite world was like a dragon rolling back and turning against the fairy gate, and the wind was like a knife cutting the face. The Ming dynasty wanders around, the golden elixir is as powerful as a river, the fairy door is under the pressure of the shadow, the town presses the body of the dragon, and the runes are like a chain of locks. It slams, its claws tear the air and grabs Ming's chest. He was flickering, and his heart was as white as thunder. From a confused mortal to a hero at this moment, this road is full of blood, it's worth it. Reversal. He slapped out with his palm, and the power of the fairy gate gathered, turning into a giant golden palm, piercing through the heart of the Dragon King. The demon core shattered, the green blood was sprayed like a spring, the Dragon King twitched, the alien fog collapsed, the channel vortex drama collapsed, and the golden lock seal was completed. My uncle cried, and his bone staff broke and was blown away by the backlash energy. He hit the wall and vomited blood. You have destroyed the demon lord's stigma. The alien world will not stop. He escaped into the rift and disappeared without any trace. The cave is shaken, the spirit energy flows back, the permanent channel seals, and the red and black vortex turns into golden light and dissipates. The bright pill landed with breathing, the golden elixir was stable, the power was like a new life, and the feeling of heroism in my heart. This is not the end, it is a new beginning. The urban shadow is still there, but there are teams, and he is indifferent. Xiao Xian ran over and rushed into him. Minghua, your golden elixir is so bad. Her purplish water slid down, and it was as warm as a spring. Mingqi hugged her and felt the wind of Tianyi from far away and blocked the support. Xianlei yelled at the campus, "Boss, I won." The teen was so brave that his fairy path was even wider. He looked at the passage and walked firmly. In the night, the golden elixir light was invisible. The tremors of the iron mine cave were still shaking, and the gravel fell and showed fine crispness, and the air was filled with the burning smell of flakes and the refreshing reflux of the spirit. Mingqi held Xiao Xian, and the two of them breathed and retreated out of the tunnel. Yifeng was ashamed as a dismantle embrace. He felt the golden elixir spiral in his dantian, and every heartbeat brought a huge return of power. From the thickness of the foundation to the purity of the golden elixir, this change was like a broken flower and a butterfly, making him more savvy and heavier. My uncle fled, and the demon lord was as if the dark cloud had not dispersed, but the campus spirit was already stable and the city was in turmoil. Minghua, are you okay? Jindan woke up. This speed is too crazy. Xiao Xian wiped the gray on her face, her eyes were shiny, and her voice was filled with worship and grief. She held his hand tightly, her palms were as warm as a spring, making Mingwei's heart warm. It's okay, Xian Xian. The secret of the immortal town world is simply the trump card of the sect. The passage is closed, and the source of the demon is broken, but the remaining strength is still there, so we have to tighten the team. Mingqi smiled, sensed that he had swept the edge of the city, and captured scattered demon shadows in a row, my uncle's backup plan, and tried to make a last try. He shouted loudly, and the jade plaque was blue and flashed, and sent Tianyi and Yilei, lazy, what's going on in the campus? Tianyi, has the road blocked successfully? The main nest of the iron mine has been destroyed, the passage is sealed, we will go back to the campus to gather. The mobile phone was buzzing, and Lei's roar came first, boss. The campus is stable. I smashed 20 of the little demons in the leak. The mirror is awesome. But there is a small crack and flashing light on the east side. I guess my uncle's party is making trouble. Come back quickly, brothers are waiting for you to lead. The bloody language is full of pride in witnessing the changes in the friend's phone. From the former roommate, I can now hear the bright kingly spirit. Tianyi's voice was connected, and he was exhausted while gasping for breath. The tunnel on the east side is blocked, and my uncle's supplementary team was fully destroyed. The family secretly whistle and backed, giving me 10 high-level talismans. But the Alliance has a traitor who scattered the traitors around the city and summoned the remaining demons to fight back. Ming, you are a golden elixir? The family leader and the old man reported to you, recognize your status, saying that you are a new contributor to the Shen-Tian sect, invite you to the Sacrificial Alliance. Come back, we will join forces to suppress. At the beginning of the bright spot, a warm current surged in my heart. Tianyi went from his opponent to the brothers, and this transformation made him sigh. The road to cultivation, from the school park primary battle to the urban alliance, the team's New York belt was as bright as a golden elixir. He took Xiao Xian's hand and walked like a wind. Let's go back to the campus. My uncle's destruction will not be eliminated, and the crisis will not be dispersed. Tonight, we will set the world. Dawn breaks. Huayang University's operating venue is surrounded by blue light hindrance, like an invisible fortress to protect the campus. Yilei and Tianyi were already there, and more than 10 figures gathered around them, members of the Integrity Alliance. From all over the city, there were white-haired men slapping swords, young monks summoned fire talismans, and the air was full of energy, and the dew fragrance of the lawn and the magic of the iron instruments. The students were still sleeping soundly in the dormitory, and they didn't know about this guardian battle. Boss! You're back! Yilei rushed forward, patted Ming Kai's shoulder, and glared, Golden Dan breath? From a mortal boy to a fairy gate to a transmission, you're so stupid. Brother, I'm so stupid. I've pulled you to play games before, and now you are leading the Alliance to slap the demon beast. It's so good. His blood was like fire, and he witnessed Ming Kai's heart from an ordinary college student to a hero, making his friendship deepen like a spirit. Tianyi walked over and passed a family jade plaque. Old, I believe you are the leader of the Alliance. My uncle's ropes have been locked. He hid in the ruins of the northern suburbs of the city, summoned the last tide of demons and tried to bomb the campus spirit. But with our alliance, the problem of suppressing the enemy is not enough. The clerk pointed at the head, and an old white man bowed. Minghua Taoist, the Shen-Tian token is revived, the sect is inherited by you, and the clerk is the leader of you. The city is full of demons, but the earthen chicken and tiled dog. Mingxing held a tight jade plaque and watched the crowd. His mood changed from the school to the leader of the city. This growth was like a river and a sea of exchanges. He smiled and said, "Thank you, everyone. The campus is the starting point, and the city is the home. My uncle's party wants to blow up the spirit, so let's start first. Plan, Tianyi, you will take the Style Talisman team to stop the support. Lazy, guard the campus network, smash any leaking network. Xiao Xian, help me seal. The Nexus League encircles the northern suburbs in 3 ways, and I will attack the core." The team is determined, with one move. Everyone was pointed and their movements were like wind. The northern suburbs is a deserted construction site, with walls and walls like giant wool bones, and the wind blows through the birds that cry like ghosts. My uncle hid in the central tower, with a bone staff scattering a flash of magic light, and a red light swaying around the cracks. Hundreds of demon beasts squatting, the middle-level wolf spider-like complexion, several high-level giant lizards spit out poisonous fogs, fishy winds rolling, claw-stomped tiles, and the ground is shaking like an earthquake. The 3 routes of the Integrity Alliance encircled, the fire talisman burned the demons around them, the wind blades were broken and added, and the sound of killing the ruins was heard. Traitors! The demon lord's great destruction is over. Do you think you have won? My uncle's face twisted like a ghost from the tower, summoning a fog to fight against the Alliance. The magic light burst out, and the poisonous fog was like a net covering toward Xiao Xian. She could not avoid it, and the ancient books were corrupted. Ming Wei's heart was tightened, and the golden elixir power rushed forward, and he flicked his body. Xian Xian, retreat. He shouted, the fairy gate whirled open again, the golden fairy gate shadow descended, the town was pressing the poisonous fog, and the runes were like chains crushing the wind blade. My uncle smiled and said, early stage of the golden pill? Boy, the soul of the demon king in the strange world is borrowed from me. He swallowed the magic core, and his breath burst into the middle stage of the golden pill. His black-purple armor was all over his body, turning into a half-demonic shape, and his claws were swept like bowls, and the wind blew the air, and the tower was gravel flying. The teams worked together to explode. Tianyi-style talismans burst into contact with the winged demons on my uncle's side. "Uncle, let's end. The family regards you as a venerable." The wind blade rolled like a dragon, helping the fairy gate and resolving the poisonous fog. Xian Lei reported from the campus, "Boss, I stayed on the tide on the internet. I smashed 15 of them, and the campus was stable." His roar was like a backbone, making Mingcheng's pace more stable. The cultivator, the fire talisman, burned the wolf pack and shouted, "Minghua Taoist, main attack. We protect the law." Xiao Xian approached and injected spiritual power to help. "Minghua, the mirror is connected to the fairy gate, which can amplify the pressure of the town." Together. Her eyes were soft, and her emotions were like flames that ignited the heart of Minghua. He pointed his head and shook her hand tightly. "Xian Xian, from the day the school park saved you, I knew that you were my companion on the path of immortal cultivation. It was full, let's guard together." Xiao Xuan's face was red and the light flashed. "Well, for a lifetime." Climax comes. My uncle roared in a state of distortion, his tail swept like a mountain collapse, smashing half of the ruins, and the soil was flying like a fog. The body of the Ming elixir is fully opened, the fairy gate shadow expands 100 meters, the runes are like the galaxy, and the town is pressing against the demons. The wolf spider twitched and fell to the ground, the giant lizard burned into ashes, and the alliance cultivator shouted, "Fellow Taoist mighty." It was as refreshing as the tide, and Mingyi felt the rotation of the golden elixir accelerate, and the power was like a sea siege, the joint force of the team, allowing him to go from the lonely army to the leader of the alliance, and this honor was as bright as a crown. My uncle came, his claws hit his heart and his magic wind swayed the shield. Ming, who was determined in his heart, grow to this point, fight for protection. He growled, "One blow to determine the universe." The power gathered, and the core of the fairy gate burst into a giant golden pillar, like a heavenly sword coming to the world, rushing my uncle's chest. My uncle cried out, and the half-demon body shattered, the demon core exploded, and the black-purple energy backed down, turning into smoke and dissipating. The ruins shook, and finally the crack collapsed, and the red light was enough to destroy the entire demon beast. The city was restored to a calm state, and the smoke from the ruins dissipated. Under the morning light, the monks of the Netherland League shouted, "Minghua League leader. The campus is eternal, the city is peaceful." The students looked far away, thinking that it was a construction site blast, and discussed the debate and sent out a message of admiration. "I heard that there are hidden heroes guarding the campus." Minghua's honor shone like the stars, and the whole nation was grateful for his gratitude without knowing it. Tianyi walked over and bowed, "The family officially recognizes you. You are Xiantian Xinxing. Once your uncle dies, the alliance collapses, and the world of cultivating is respected." Xiao Xian snuggled up to her and said, "Ming, we are full. From the school beauties to the cultivation companions, it's great to have you on this road." Xian Lei came and laughed, "Boss, from roommates to the testimony of the overlord of the immortal path, your transformation has made me feel hot and blood-boiled. The group is over, the campus crisis has been resolved, and the city is peaceful." Ming Wei looked at the crowd, and the warmth was in his heart. From the accident of picking up the token to the Golden Dan hero, this growth spin is like a painting, protecting the campus, deepening friendship, filling emotions, leading the alliance. The crisis has been resolved, but the shadow of the demon lord's alien world is still there, and the path of immortality is even wider. He smiled and said, "Thank you, everyone. The campus is safe and the city is stable, but the road is still long. The team is always here, let's move forward together." The morning wind blows away the dust, the city wakes up, and the light is hidden, and the new chapter is revealed. The morning light of Huayang University is filled with the playground, the dewdrops on the lawn are flashing like stars, the air is filled with the fresh smell of grass and the fragrance of buns from the remote canteen. When Mingxuan carried his book bag and returned to the campus from the northern suburbs, it was already morning class. My uncle's cry was still rumbling around his ears, and the moment the magic core shattered, it seemed like a huge rock pressing on his heart finally landed on the ground. The spirit of the early stage of the golden pill is like a warm current in the body. Every step makes him feel light and powerful. From the former ordinary college student with a waist and a back, he now walks with a hidden kingly atmosphere. Students around the country walked past 303 and laughed at the discussion of the construction site explosion last night, but they didn't know the blood of this guardian war. "Boss! Are you back? Is that old thing my uncle really dead? The campus was terrified last night, and I smashed the last one. The mirror network is as stable as an old dog." Xianlei ran from the dormitory building, with dust still hanging on his face, and the iron stick turned into a newly reeled steel tube, and his bloody eyes were as bright as a light. He patted Ming Kai on the shoulder, and the strength was so strong that the students passing by were on the side of him. From the beginning of picking up the broken jade tablet, "You kid will open all the way. Now the golden elixir is here, I am proud of you. In the future, we will build a big career together, and the Campus Defense Alliance will be called the Four Heat and Blood." "What's the case?" Ming Xiao smiled, and a warm current surged in his heart. Eli's passion and blood lit up his path to immortal cultivation like a torch from the back mountain. Now, this friendship is no longer a game partner, but a brother-in-law who shares life and death. "Lazy, thank you. My uncle is dead, but the root of the alliance is still there." The old scholar of the cultivator said that the power of the demon lord's alien world is hidden in the underground palace of the city, and my uncle is just a chess piece. We must seal all passages forever, otherwise the demon battle party will fight back. Xiao Xian walked out of the teaching building. Her long hair was light in the wind, and her school uniform skirt was moving like petals. She ran over, hugged Ming's arm lightly, and her face was slightly red. "Ming, I heard Tianyi say it. You wake up with the golden elixir, the trick of the immortal town world. It's so amazing. I have finished reading the sealing curse in ancient books. I can move the Shantian glass and seal the alien passage forever. But let's take a break first, you used too much energy last night." Her voice was soft, and the feelings in her eyes were like morning fog. From the school beauties to the immortal companion, this transformation made Ming's heart feel warm. He lowered his head and kissed her. "Xian Xian, with your help, I am not afraid of anything. From the day I saved you, you will be my companion on the road of immortality. Is it okay for my whole life?" Xiao Xian pointed at the head and said, "Well, let's balance the academic and cultivation of immortals together, and protect this campus." Tianyi walked out of the backyard of the old library from the temporary point of the Enlightenment Alliance, and the silver wall has been repaired, flashing toward Xinguang. He bowed and said, "Minghua, the eldest family gathered together, and I believe you are a new star in the urban immortal cultivation. As soon as my uncle died, the ghosts in the alliance were exposed. We captured 5 demon cultivators. The information shows that the root of the demon lord is in the underground palace, where there are the last 3 permanent passages, and the soul of the demon emperor in the alien world is hidden. The entire Cultivation Alliance listens to you to establish the Urban Defense Alliance, with the campus as the core, and radiates the entire city. After the passage is permanently sealed, the city is peaceful." At the beginning of the Ming dynasty, the mood changed from the school park to the leader of the city, and this growth was as stable as a golden elixir. He summoned the jade plaque, and the blue light shone on the crowd. "Okay, the alliance is established. Lei Zi, you are responsible for the campus patrol and mortals' love. Xiao Xian, the rune seal expert. Tianyi, the family resource staple. I focus on the roots." The elders of the cultivation team, and the underground palace were divided into 3 ways, and Xiao Xian and I were directly at the core. Forever seal the strange world, smash the demon lord's lord. The movement was like wind, and in the afternoon they dived into the entrance of the city's underground palace, a crack hidden in the abandoned railway station. The air is hot like a steamed pot, smearing the odor of sulfur and the buzzing of spirit. The monks of the Negative League entered the fish, the fire talisman illuminated the tunnel, and the wind blade opened the way. The power of the Mingxuan is guided like a light tower, and the perception is deep. The demon lord's soul is like a black fog plate, the 3 channels are red light swaying, and the demon beast party roars to guard it. Boy, you're going to hurt me. My uncle is the pioneer. The demon lord is in the hands of the demon emperor in the alien realm. The passage is 10% true, and the urban spirit will do whatever it takes to me. In the black fog, a shadow appeared. The demon lord killed his soul, shaped like a thin old man, his eyes are red as blood, and the energy in the alien realm around him squirmed like a touch. It summoned the demon emperor to kill the demon emperor, and a giant ink dragon came in, a flash of magic light, and its tail slammed into the stone wall, making it as huge as thunder. The Alliance War broke out. The old cultivator burned the demons around the edge of the fire talisman and shouted to the tunnel, "The leader is mighty." After the Tianyi-style talisman was cut off, the killing leaked network, the family resources are all open. Demon Lord, don't think about it. Xian Lei sent a message from the campus, "Boss, my little rebel is on the top of the internet. The hot blood is boiling, fuck them." Mingxi pulled Xiao Xian towards the core, the fairy gate was opened, the golden fairy gate was in full swing, and the town was pressed down. Runes are like red lights in the chain, the energy of the alien world is backfiring, and the channel is buzzing like crying. The demon lord roared, the black fog whipped like a whip, and the corrupt fairy door was surrounded. The body of the Mingxuan flashed, and the golden elixir was swept wildly. Xian, seal. The golden light in the ancient book Xiaoxian was injected into the Xiantian glass. The lens light reflected, amplifying the power of the fairy gate. The 3 channels were scattered, and the red light disintegrated like glass shattered. Refreshing as the tide. Ming Qi felt that the golden elixir was rotating and accelerated, and his power was extremely powerful. From mortals to overlords of the immortal path, this reversal was like a galaxy. The demon emperor's spirit came, and his claws brought a strong pressure, but he slapped it out with his palm, and the golden pillar of the immortal gate penetrated the magic core. The spirit twitched, the alien fog dissipated, and the demon lord's virtual shadow shouted, "Impossible! Your new star has destroyed my eternal striking." The black fog collapsed, the roots were shattered, the underground palace was shaking, the passage was sealed forever, and the golden locks were as stable as iron walls. The spirit energy flows back, the city is like a new life, and the air is refreshing. The alliance shouted, and the monks bowed, the power of the leader. The city is Yong'an. Ming Qi took a breath and landed. Xiao Xian rushed in, "Ming Qi, we have won. The roots of the lunar roots have been destroyed, and the channels of the opposite world have been sealed forever." Tianyi walked over and said with a smile, "The family invites you to the main cultivation hall to create the future together. Lei Zi and I will always be your right-hand man." Xian Lei came and laughed, "Boss, from college roommates to the Alliance Iron Triangle, we will be full of blood." Campus life has returned to normal. A few days later, Minging sat in the class, the sun shining through the window, and the professor talked about boring economics. He was in a state of unrest, and the power of the golden elixir quietly moved to balance his studies in immortal cultivation. During class, he and Xiao Xian walked around Linji, and Yi Lei was in front of him, and Tianyi followed him with a low voice. Students occasionally discuss the mysterious hero but don't know that the guardian is the one. He used Alliance resources to provide defense at the campus to protect his classmates from future threats. Scattered monsters are coming, and the mirror network is quietly resolved without any noise, and the campus is like a paradise. As the sun sets, Mingcheng sits alone on the stone platform in the back mountain, and the jade plaque is warm in the palm of your hand. Inner self-indulgent, from the accident of releasing to the token, to the new star of the golden pill, this journey is full of blood and growth. I, an ordinary college student, feared the boring days. Now, the overlord of the immortal path, is responsible for the city peace. The original intention of protecting the campus has never changed. Xiaoshuan's company is like the nourishment of the spirit roots. Lei Zi's passion and Tianyi's transformation have made me understand that cultivating immortals is not just a single practice, but a communion of the future. The demon lord shatters, and the world is forever sealed, but the road of immortality is long, and I am full of longing. Balance the mortal world with the path of immortality, guard this popular among people, and have no regrets in my life." The team gathered together and laughed. Minging looked at the city lights far away, feeling satisfied. It was full, from mortals to overlords. This reversal is not only power, but also emotional warmth. The campus clock sounds, and the ferry journey continues in a new day.